How was the paper? Huh? Okay, okay type or difficult? See, there are only three categories. One, it is very easy. Number two, it is moderate. And number three, it is difficult. All the above. Right, right, right. So nothing, just emphasizing on certain areas which we take it for granted. The purpose of putting such question is to tell you that there are certain areas which we take it for granted, but actually, conceptually speaking, it is not so. So that is why to pinpoint those areas, we have put questions on these lines. Come to the question. So we have questions from 26. Question number 26. Consider the following statements. Remuneration of the Attorney General of India is determined by who? By the President of India, not by the Parliament. It is decided by the President according to Article 76. So this is a wrong statement. Attorney General of India cannot take up private cases. He can take up private cases. The first Attorney General of India is Setalvad. This is a statement which most of us do not know, and that is a right statement. He was the first and the longest serving Attorney General of India. He was the first and the longest serving Attorney General of India from 1950 to 1963. Around 13 years he was the Attorney General of India, and he also was the first chairperson of the Law Commission. He is the first chairman of the Bar Council. So there are so many things which is about this first Attorney General, first and the longest serving, the first chairperson of Law Commission, and he the first chairman of the Bar Council of India. So he is a very noted personality, which is why we have put a question on this first Attorney General. Because sometimes they ask a statement which we do not have studied. We have not studied that statement, and they ask the statement. For example, the Contempt of Court Act was made based on the recommendation of who? That question was asked. No. So based on the lines of the current trend of UPSC, we have put this question. So what is the answer? 3 only is the answer. Now come to the next question. 27. A bill amending the constitution is introduced only by a minister. It can be also by a private member. It can be a private bill, not only a government bill which is introduced by the minister. Constitutional amendment bill needs no prior recommendation of the President of India. Yes or no? No prior recommendation is needed for constitution amendment bill. It is mandatory for the President to give his assent when the bill is presented. Yes, according to 24th Amendment Act 1971. This is the right statement. So this is a right statement, this is a right statement, and therefore answer is what? D. 2 and 3. Now come to 28th question. Which among the following laws and programs have been made by the governments at the center and the state for implementing the directive principles of state policy? Under DPSP, we have Article 37, which says that the state shall implement these directives. When it is making law, it is mandatory that the state shall implement the directive principle. So this is what is given, and based on that only, this SC/ST Prevention of Atrocity Act, because of Article 46, National Commission of Backward Classes because of 46, Legal Services Authority Act because of 39A, Wildlife Protection Act because of 48A. All the four actions were taken by the governments to give effect to the directive principles. So all the above will be the right answer. Come to 29. A constitutional government means a representative government of a nation with federal structure. Is this statement right? A constitutional government is a government which will have federal structure and it is representative of the government. It is a representative government of the nation with a federal structure. What do you mean by constitutional government? A government which is putting speed breaker for the powers of the state. A government which is putting speed breaker for the powers of the state, especially the government, is called as constitutional government. So it does not speak about that the government is representing the people or it is having something like federal structure. Government conducted according to the rules and principles. Government whose head enjoys real powers. Government limited by terms of the constitution. So answer is 2 and 4. B is the right answer. This is what is constitutional government. That the constitution is limiting the powers of the government, which is what is called as constitutional government. Now come to the next question. With reference to the elements of basic structure in I.R. Coelho case, this case was coming in 2007 and it is concerning with the 9th schedule of the constitution. In one of the years of UPSC main examination, they have asked this question and not many people know this case, that this case is dealing with the 9th schedule. The judgment of the case is that not all laws which are under 9th schedule will be having a blanket judicial immunity. Not all laws will have a blanket judicial immunity. Those laws which were put into the 9th schedule on or after 24th April 1973, which is the case, which is the judgment day of case one of the Bharati case. So on or after this 24th April 1973, any law put under 9th schedule will be judicially scrutinized. So only judicial immunity is available for those laws kept under 9th schedule before 24th April 1973. On or after, it will come under the judicial review, and the court clearly says there is no blanket judicial immunity available for laws kept under the 9th schedule. So this is what the case about. And in this case, the Supreme Court also says that there are some elements of basic structure. We have seen that in the 2022 paper, there was a question about basic structure. We have no definition of basic structure, right? This is not defined. It is, there was a question which was raised by an eminent political scientist. So he says, what is basic in the basic structure? Is basic structure basic? He is putting this question. Subhas Kashyap is putting this question, is basic structure basic? Because if it is, if it has to be basic, it has to flow directly from constitution. It is not flowing directly from constitution. Nowhere this is mentioned in the constitution. So he questions this, whether it is, what is basic in the basic structure. Now, Supreme Court has not defined this concept of basic structure. But in different cases, they have given different provisions under the category of basic structure. And one such case is I.R. Coelho case, where the court is telling rule of law is the basic structure, fundamental rights basic structure, equality basic structure, separation of powers basic structure. So all the above. There is one clue which you can try in the examination. Suppose questions like this will come. What will you do? They are all related only, no? They are all related only. Logically speaking, all are so important to be called as basic structure. So you apply your logical mind. You should understand this very clearly, that law is nothing but common sense. Law is nothing but common sense. Common sense is codified in the form of law, and the supreme law is constitution. So having understood this point, that commonsensically there are certain provisions which has to be called basic structure, without which the constitution cannot do its duty. So all are very important. I don't know IR Coelho case. I know what should be the basic structure. So if I apply this mind of common sense, definitely I will tell that all the four should come. So this is how you have to use your common sense, your logical sense to answer the question, because everything you are getting in the question will not be studied by you. I tell you that it is about some 60 to 70% of questions will be coming from what you have read. 20 to 30% of questions will come from areas which you have not clearly read, and some 5 questions will come like a bouncer which you have to just leave. So some 20 questions will be like you have not studied anywhere clearly, but you can make an intelligent guesswork, an educated guesswork, if you use your common sense, which is nothing but logical sense. So all the four are important, and therefore all the four should be correct answer. Is there anyone who has applied his mind, her mind so deeply and came out with a wrong answer? Is there anyone? Don't try to leave the questions like this, because they are all very much logical questions, as I have told. If you leave this, then definitely what will happen? The number of questions which you are attempting will reduce very drastically. What is the fear element which I wanted to test in this question is IR Coelho. Somewhere I heard, I am not knowing, so I leave the question. This is what is called as withdrawal symptom. Withdrawal symptom. I don't want to put me in that situation where I should squeeze my brain and all, that I will better leave the question. That should not be there with you. That attitude should not be there. Right? So it is not about it is not about your intelligence, it is about your approach. It is about your approach, how you are approaching the issue. Unknown things will come to you. Don't immediately say no to that, even if you on the face of that issue concluded that you don't know. பார்க்கும்போது தெரியல அப்படிங்கறதுக்காக விட்டுறாதீங்க. Just take it, process. அப்புறம் you decide whether to take it or leave it. Flatly don't close the gate. That is what I am saying. Allow it to be processed. Allow it to be processed, because while processing, you trust me that your mind will favor you. Your mind, your body will always try to support you. The point is that we don't support that mind and body. It is always there to support you, to come to rescue you whenever a question comes. It is trying to facilitate you, but the main problem is that we don't trust that mind. So mind is good. Believe that, and it is going to help you. With that mindset, if you touch the question, definitely many questions which are logical will be made right by you. 31. The preamble has been amended only once, which added the words very, very simple: socialist, secular and integrity by 42nd Amendment Act. 3 words were added to preamble, and these are the three words which have been included. So answer is C. 32. Which of the following of in the Indian polity is an essential feature that indicates federal character? Federal character is committed judiciary, a federal character. Definitely. What do you mean by committed judiciary? Committed judiciary came in the 2022 paper. Committed judiciary is a judiciary which will be supportive of the government. It is always a judiciary which will support the government. If government is supported by judiciary, then who will protect the other units of the government or other layers of the government. A judiciary always will be supportive of the government. That is what is called as committed judiciary. A judiciary which is committed to the policies and the programs of the government is what is called as committed judiciary. There should be independent judiciary for federalism. Committed judiciary is not good for federalism. It is only good for unitary character. So committed judiciary should not be there. Independent judiciary should be there. So this is a wrong element. Right to existence for the state. Federalism means what? I have my identity. I am not inferior to you and you are not superior to me. I am getting power not from you. I am the state. I am getting power from the constitution, from where you are also getting power. So we are getting power from the constitution. You are not giving power to me. You are central government, I am state government. You are not giving power to me. Both of us take constitution from the source called as, both of us take power from the source called as constitution. Right? So definitely you have a right to existence. Bicameralism, definitely the Rajya Sabha is called as the federal house. No doubt about that. Unwritten constitution will be there only for unitary. Federal always wanted written constitution. So 1 should not come, 4 should not come. Answer therefore is C, 2 and 3 only. Right? 33. Consider the following statements regarding Constitution of India. All the central government decisions are expressed to be taken in the name of the President of India. Article 77. The Prime Minister allocates portfolio. President allocates portfolio based on the advice of the Prime Minister according to Article 77. Prime Minister is practically allocating, constitutionally allocating authority is the President of India, which is why to give you that clarity we have given in the statement question itself that read the constitution. So when you are reading the question, don't read half of the question. Consider the following statement. Go to the statement. No. Complete the question. Consider the following statement regarding Constitution of India. Sometimes consider the following statement regarding Constitution, they'll write. Don't challenge the question telling that they have not mentioned whether it is Indian Constitution or American Constitution, because it is a very, very logical sense that you are preparing for Indian civil services, not for Chinese civil services. Definitely, Constitution means Indian Constitution only. Understood? And this is what 77 very clearly says, that the President makes rules for the convenient transaction of the business of the Government of India, and he is allocating the said business amongst the Council of Ministers. Very clearly they have written, the verbatim of Article 77 is prevailing. Anything written very black and white in the constitutional text, definitely that will prevail. So 2 is wrong, 1 is right. Answer therefore is 1 only. 34. Which one of the following best defines the term state? See, state is a community occupying definite territory. What and all should be there to be called a state? Territory should be there, government should be there, population should be there. Territory, government, population. You know, when you speak about territory, automatically government having territory will be a sovereign government only. Territory is a concept connected to sovereignty, or sovereignty is a concept which is bounded by territory. No sovereignty means no territory. Understood? So these are the 3 basic elements of state. And if there is a government, people should obey the government. Without obedience to the government, how can government run the people? Administration is impossible without obedience. So there is a habitual obedience, we are telling. Yes, people should habitually obey what government is telling you, because government is a product of social contract. Thomas Hobbes writes that people are very selfish. If we leave the selfish people to be like that only, they will kill each other. There will be no society at all. So let us come together, form an agreement, and that agreement is called as social contract. We will create the state. Let state become sovereign. and what state is telling, we will follow. Thomas Hobbes says. J.J. Rousseau comes and tells about social contract at a different time point. At a different time point, he comes to tell that state is made by people's will. Voluntarily, people are creating the state. So, whatever state is telling, people voluntarily will follow. So, habitual obedience is a definite character of the state. And therefore, this is right. Why this is wrong? Politically organized people of definite territory, it is there. Authority to govern, it is there. Maintain law and order, protect their natural rights, and guarantee and safeguard their means of sustenance. This is not a state. This should be called as welfare state. There are many types of states present. We have asked which is best defining state. So this is a welfare state. It is a generic question. When the question is generic, your answer should be generic, right? So this is a welfare state. Number of persons who have been living in a definite territory, yes. For a very long time, okay, with their own culture, tradition, and government. What is here missing is administration. Territory is there. Government is there. People are living very long time. I am telling you that question is best, which means more than one answer may be right. You can very well argue that this is also right, because for a long time people who are having a culture, they have a government, they have a territory, but I have to choose only one choice. So this is not that so correctly defining state. Permanently living in a definite territory with a central authority, executive responsible to the central authority, and an independent judiciary. Independent judiciary can be a feature of only democratic state. It need not be a feature of state at all. Because when state was there, when the kings were there, Akbar was there, Gupta was there, they need not have independent judiciary, they themselves will become judge. You go to Akbar's fort you go, Agra, there is one place, they tell that this is the place where he will sit and he will render justice. So when he is sitting on the chair in this place, he is the chief justice of that state. King is the judge. King is the judge. There is no independent judiciary in a state. Independent judiciary is a feature of democratic state. We have told only state, not the types of states. So A is the right answer for this question. 35. Impeachment of the President of India. Charges should be signed by 1/10, 1/4. Impeachment charges can be initiated by either house, whereas in United States it can be initiated only by House of Representatives. The second statement is a little bit confusing because we have inserted United States. So first statement, a very cakewalk statement that it is not 1/10, it is 1/4. Second statement, it can be initiated by either house. அது வரைக்கும் ஓகேவா இருக்குது. The whereasக்கு மேல தான் பிரச்சனையே ஆரம்பிக்குது. United States only the House of Representatives can initiate it. That is what is the difference between US and India. There only House of People can initiate. House of Representatives can initiate. Here either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Even though we have taken up the removal of judge provision from America, as Dr. Ambedkar says, we have not taken as cut copy paste thing. We have modified to suit our situation. So it can be either this house or that house. So this is a right statement. 2 only. 36. Disputes in presidential election, consider the following. Election petition has to be filed by either candidate or the electors. Yes or no? Dispute petition has to be filed by either candidates or the electors. See, it is very clearly given in which article? Article 71. That It is the Supreme Court of India which will be vested with the power to inquire cases connected to the election of the president or the vice president according to Article 71. Right. Now the confusion comes about whether election petition has to be filed by the candidate or by the electors. Both. If it is electors, minimum 20 or more electors will have to approach the Supreme Court through an election petition. After the election is completed, after the results are declared, after the elections are completed, after the result is declared, and the declaration of the successful candidate will have to be published. Declaration of the winning candidate, his name should be published by the Election Commission. After that only you can go and dispute. So while election is happening, in the middle you cannot go with an election petition. Process should be completed, result should be declared. Anytime after the declaration of result can I go and file in the Supreme Court of India that I have a dispute in this election? There should be some time limit. July 18 election, President of India election. When can you go? When can you go and approach the Supreme Court of India? After the results are declared. Yes, there should be a time frame. Within 30 days. Within 30 days of the declaration of result and the publication of the result, you have to go to the Supreme Court with an election petition. And this is said by Section 12 of the President and Vice President Election Act. Section 12 of the President and Vice President Election Act 1952. The Presidential Vice President Election Act confers exclusive jurisdiction on the Supreme Court. What do you tell about this statement? Is it right statement or wrong statement? Right or wrong? Why? Constitution. Section 14 of the President and Vice President Act confers the exclusive jurisdiction on the Supreme Court along with Article 71. Both. Section 14 of the Act clearly says the exclusive jurisdiction is to the Supreme Court. It is also present in Article 71. So law also says along with the Constitution. Therefore, the statement is what? Correct statement. Answer is both 1 and 2. 37. President power, ordinance making power of the President given under Article 123 is borrowed from the Government of India Act. Is it borrowed from Government of India Act? No. Section 42 of Government of India Act only tells that ordinance making power is there for the Governor General, which is cut copy pasted in our constitution. Number has been changed. 123 is that number. So the source of ordinance making power is section 42 of Government of India Act 1935, which gives ordinance making power to the Governor General. This section 42 in this act only became Article 123. So this is a right statement. It can be made only when both the houses are not in session. Either this or that or both. One or both houses. Only when both houses. No, this is wrong. Even if one house is not in session, you can make ordinance, because to make law, you require the support of both the houses. So this is a wrong statement. Therefore, answer is 1 only. 38. Right to property in India. It is a legal right available to citizens only. Is it so? Is it available for only citizen or for any person? Any person. Article 300A, which was inserted by 44th Amendment Act, says that any person, as long as it was there in Article 19(1)(f), it applies only to citizen. But when it was scrapped by 44th Amendment Act and kept in 300A, it is available to any person. So this is wrong. Legal right available to any person. Yes, neither fundamental right nor legal right. It is not a fundamental right, but definitely it is a legal right. So this statement also is wrong. Right to property is a constitutional right available to citizen only is wrong. Right to property is a constitutional right available to any person is a right statement. So we have 2 and 5. 2 and 5 is the right answer. Now come to 39. A legislation which confers on the executive or administration unguided, uncontrolled, discretionary power in the matter of making law. So here, law will have to be made which should not violate the fundamental rights. Law cannot be made in a discretionary way. Action of the government cannot be done in a discretionary way to violate the rights of the people. Right? So, if it is violating, then what is the application of law violates? Article 14 says equality before law. And equal protection of law. If a person is violating this, he is violating the rights of the people, he is using his discretion in a very uncontrolled fashion, definitely it is violating equality. Because try to understand, equality before law means what? Rule of law. Rule of law means what? Law will be followed by the administration. Law will not follow the administration. Administration only will have to follow the law, and the law should be not made in a discretionary fashion. If it is discretionary, if it is made in a discretionary fashion, in an uncontrolled fashion, definitely it is going to be struck down by the Supreme Court as unconstitutional. Because under Article 14, any classification you are making will have to be a reasonable classification. Unreasonably, you cannot do anything. Any action should be reasonably done. If you are using in an uncontrolled fashion, it is unreasonable. Unreasonable law cannot exist. Only reasonable law can exist according to right to equality, which is enshrined in Article 14. Any doubt you have? Uncontrolled law means unreasonable. Unreasonable thing cannot be done according to Article 14, because Article 14 is throwing what? Reasonable restrictions or reasonable classification. Classification cannot be unreasonable. It cannot be in a discretionary fashion. You make classification. So any action should not be discretionary, uncontrolled, because every action should be reasonable action. Reasonable action is what is required by law. Law presupposes just action. If just action is not there, it becomes unjust, unreasonable. Unreasonable will not be concurring with equality. So therefore, equality is what is violated. Look at the other choices. Freedom of religion, right to constitutional remedy, uniform civil code. Is there any direct connection between this question and the other three choices? No. Hmm? Constitutional remedy is only when there is a violation of fundamental right. Constitutional remedy is only when there is a violation of fundamental right. When you are making law, you should make just law. Where you are finding this? Law should be made just law. Constitutional remedy is not directly dealing with just law. It is dealing with the action of even government. Police is arresting a person, detaining a person unlawfully to seek the freedom, to seek the release of the person. You go with habeas corpus. Action of the government. Action of the government. It is not action of the legislature. Action of the government. Action of the legislature, yes. Under Article 105, if you are the speaker and you are you are arresting the person, detaining the person unlawfully, then the court can come and ask you, produce the person, habeas corpus. But there, as a legislator, you are not functioning. As an administrator, you are functioning. So you should understand that right to constitutional remedy is only applicable to government detaining a person, habeas corpus. Government not doing anything, mandamus. Lower court, certiorari and prohibition. That person is not qualified to hold that office. Where is then law violating? Question is what? Law is violating because it is very discretionarily made. What is the fundamental right which is connected to law directly? Law, where is law given? 14 it is given, equality before law. So even if you have a confusion, go by the term, law is given. Where and all law will be violated. Freedom of religion, law is made in an uncontrolled fashion. Okay, I can consider this. Constitutional remedy, here it is not about legislature, it is about executive. Uniform Civil Code, in an uncontrolled manner, I can also consider this to some extent because they are making a Uniform Civil Code in a discretionary way, in a very uncontrolled way. But three things are there. You tell me which is more having the term called law. 14. Deliberately they are giving this question because you may be easily misguided. What is that thing which they are asking? Law making. Law making should not be unjust. Where is it given? Unreasonable law should not be made. Where it is given? Where it is given? In 32 it is given? No. In freedom of religion it is given that you don't make law? No. Uniform Civil Code it is telling you don't make a law which is unreasonable. It says make law. It is not telling don't make law. Another clue I am giving, this is what do's or don'ts. Do's or don'ts. Don'ts will be present where? Fundamental right or DPSP? Fundamental right. Now, this should not come. This is connected to government, not to legislature. This should not come. These two, now directly you tell where it is given. Law should not be unreasonable in Article 25 to 28 or in Article 14. Then what? So when you are reading the question without knowing a simple fact that don'ts will not come in DPSP, you will not touch Uniform Civil Code. It is do's, not don'ts. Next. 40. Removal of vice president given in Article 67 Clause B. It is a quasi-judicial. Where is the inquiry procedure and all? Violation, what leads to the removal, ground of removal itself is not given, then how investigation will be there? Only when there is an investigation, you will have to go by the principle of natural justice and the quasi-judicial procedure will come, which is there in the president impeachment, not in the vice president removal. Ground is defined, not defined. Initiation, removal, exclusive power of Rajya Sabha. Initiation is the exclusive power. Removal will be done by both houses. Of course, with a differential majority, that in Lok Sabha it has to be done by an effective majority, by a simple majority. It has to be approved by a simple majority. In Rajya Sabha, it has to be passed by effective majority. After passing in the Rajya Sabha by an effective majority, it has to go to Lok Sabha, where it has to be passed by a simple majority. Though the term simple majority is not given under Article 67 Clause B, it says that approved by Lok Sabha. If the type of majority is not given, then it has to be treated as a simple majority. Right? How many of you made mistake in this? Definitely there should be some people. And there should be. Otherwise, I will feel bad. Why I am putting question? எதுக்கு அட்டன் பண்றதுக்கா? அட்டன் பண்ண கூடாது. I am UPSC. I don't want you to attempt this question. Even if you attempt this question, you should make mistake. But UPSC will be very happy when you make mistake, because its work will be very easy. I will be little bit worried because my work will be more difficult now to make you understand. And for that only this test batches. Test batch is not to show off what you know. Test batch is to tell you what you don't know. That is why I told in the very first test itself, it is not a place where you are going to compete with each other. It is a place where you learn. Learning. If it is a competition, the result will be paining. If it is not what you wanted, if it is an unfavorable outcome in a competition, it will pain you. Thus, that will pain you if it is unfavorable result in a competition. But in learning, there is no unfavorable outcome. That is why I told that this is not competition, this is learning, because the outcome of competition may be favorable or unfavorable. But the outcome of learning is always favorable. Understood? So, answer is what? The reason I tell you why you made this third statement right is that when you read initiation, you didn't know the removal, you didn't, something was hiding your eye, because we always have a pattern in the mind. Initiation, vice president, Rajya Sabha exclusive, முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. அப்படிதானே? அதுக்காக தான் போட்டது. The question is constructed only because of this. We will be hurry in something which we are familiar with, and here where we commit mistake. We'll be very hurry in something which we are familiar with, here where we are going to make mistake. Even if you are familiar with that particular statement, kindly read the statement once more and fully read the statement. Don't read the statement half and come to a conclusion. Half reading of the statement means you are wrong. Even though it is a simple statement, little bit doubt the statement. But don't too much doubt the statement, because every word will now appear different, carrying different meaning. So there should be a boundary of doubting, and that boundary is not a physical boundary, it is a mental boundary which comes only by practice. அதுதான் இந்த டெஸ்ட் பேட்ச்ல எந்த இடத்து வரைக்கும் நான் போகலாம் அப்படிங்கிறத நீங்க 25 கிலோமீட்டர் போங்க அதோட நின்றுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. இந்த எக்ஸாம்ல 25 கிலோமீட்டர் போயிட்டு அப்புறம் ஒரு லெஃப்ட் டர்ன் அடிச்சு ரைட் டர்ன் போனீங்கன்னா யூபிஎஸ்சி வந்துரும்னு யூபிஎஸ்சி அட்ரஸ் வேணா அப்படி கொடுக்கலாம், ஆனா கொஸ்டினுக்கு ஆன்சர் அப்படி கொடுக்க முடியாது. அப்ப கன்சிஸ்டன்ட்லி யூ ஹாவ் டு பி ட்ரெயின் டு திங்க். What is the meaning of this? 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 Training to think is what is, this is thinking week, Sunday, every Sunday is a thinking day for you. யோசிக்கிறோம், நிறைய யோசிக்கிறோம், யோசிச்சாதான் பாஸ் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ this should be taken very sportively. பரவாயில்ல, நான் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டேன், இந்த மாதிரி தப்பு பண்றேன் அப்படிங்கிறத நான் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டேன். This is what is learning. No. ஆன்சர் என்ன? ஆல் இது எத்தனை பேர் பார்த்தீங்க? நாட் கரெக்ட். இன்னொரு லேண்ட் மைன் வச்சாச்சா? 2 வச்சிருக்கிறேன். இதுல ஒண்ணுல மிஸ் பண்ணா இன்னொருல மாட்டணும். நீங்க இதுல தப்பிச்சுட்டு இதுல மாட்டினவங்க கொஞ்சம் பேர் இருக்கணுமா? இருக்கக்கூடாதா? இருக்கணும். இப்ப இதுல ஒரு குழப்பம். நாட் கரெக்ட்னா என்ன? கரெக்ட்னா none of the above கரெக்ட். நாட் கரெக்ட் அப்படின்னா all the above. Now 41. With reference to Vice President of India, consider the following statements. Constitution has no separate provision for salary and allowance of the Vice President of India, because whatever salary Vice President is taking is not in his capacity as Vice President, but in his capacity as the chairperson of Rajya Sabha, because of the simple reason that as Vice President he does not have any work at all. It is a jobless job. Vice President job is a jobless job. வேலையே இல்லாத ஒரு வேலைன்னா அது வைஸ் பிரசிடென்ட். அதனாலதான் வேலையே இல்லாம நீங்க இருக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு ராஜ்யசபாவை பார்த்துக்கோங்கிற வேலை கொடுக்குறாங்க. ஸோ வைஸ் பிரசிடென்ட்டுக்கு வேலையே இல்லைங்கிறதுனால அவருக்கு ரொட்டீன் ஃபங்க்ஷனே கிடையாது. He has no routine function. That is why no separate salary for being the VP. As the chairperson of Rajya Sabha, he is given the salary. Vice President can act as President only for a maximum of 6 months. Why? Article 62 clearly says, if there is a vacancy because of the end of the term, then you have to conduct the election within that end of the term. But if it is because of death, resignation or impeachment or illness or whatever, you have to conduct the election within 6 months. So maximum 6 months only you can be the acting president is a right statement. Dr. Radhakrishnan was the only vice president who served for 2 terms. Definitely this statement may not be known to many, at least for many, and I think for any. யாருக்கும் தெரியாதானே? தெரியாது. Hamid Ansari was another vice president who served for continuously 2 terms like Dr. Radhakrishnan. Hamid Ansari, not the only, even Ansari, Hamid Ansari served consecutively for 2 terms. So this is a wrong statement. Answer is 1 and 2 only. So 2 statements are correct. 2 statements are correct. 42. With reference to India, consider the following statement. Constitution does not define the term citizen. Yes or no? Is there any definition of citizen? No definition. Only one citizenship and one domicile. Domicile means what? You can't say that I'm having an intention to reside in India as well as in US. No. You have to have an intention to reside only in India, then only you will be given citizenship. So domicile is only one. Domicile is intention to reside permanently. You can't intend to reside for in 2 or in more than one place. You can't intend to reside in India as well as in some other foreign country. You will not be given citizenship. So there is only one citizenship and one domicile. Citizenship is related to the political status of a person, whereas domicile is related to his civil rights. This is another statement which most of us may not know. political status means I have right to vote, I have right to contest in election. So this is political in nature. Civil means I have right to freedom of expression, I have right to freedom of religion. In a society which is civilized society, there are certain freedoms available for people, like right to free speech, right to freedom of religion. These are the essential features of civilized society. So civil rights will be present in civilized society, and civilized or civil rights is what is domicile. Civil rights like right to religion, right to freedom of speech, that is connected to domicile, and citizenship is only connected to political status of the person. What is the relation between the state and the citizen? Is citizenship. That is the relation. So it is a political relation, it is a civilized relation, or the civilized status which is having in the country. That is what is called as civil rights. This third statement is a correct statement. So answer is 1, 2 and 3. என்னப்பா ஒன்னு தப்பா? எப்படி? How one is wrong? Question எடுத்தவன் நான், ஆன்சரை எடுத்தவன் நான். நானே டவுட் ஆயிருச்சு, எங்கேயோ ஏதோ தப்பு நடந்துருச்சா, நாட்டுங்கிறது எங்கேயோ விழுந்துருச்சா என்னன்னு தெரியலையே அப்படின்னு நான் பார்த்துட்டு, அதுதானே பரவாயில்லப்பா, குட். போக போக கொஸ்டின்ஸ்ல அப்படியே நம்ம பார்லிமெண்ட் மாதிரி ஆயிரணும். யூ ஆர் தி அப்போசிஷன் பார்ட்டி, ஐ எம் தி ரூலிங் பார்ட்டி, ரைட்? யூ ரைஸ் வாட் எவர் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் யூ வாண்டட் டு ரைஸ். You raise. Consider the following statement: total number of ministers. First statement. யார் இதுல? யாராவது ஒருத்தர் ஒரு விக்கெட்டாவது போயிருக்கணும்பா அந்த பால்ல. More than one, no. Good, good. Happy. 15%. Which amendment? 90? 97? 91st. Article number? A person who is not a member of parliament can also be appointed as a minister. Article 75. So answer is 2 only. With which one of the following parts of Constitution of India reflects the principles and provisions of Universal Declaration of Human Rights made in 1948? What is the answer? Fundamental rights will come? Okay. Directive principles? Yes or no? Article 50 is what? Peace and human rights. Peace and human rights are connected to each other. Forest conservation and human rights. Human rights and forest conservation. What? Weaker section ke? வேலை கொடுக்கணும். Without giving work for the weaker section, they will become more weak. One only, yeah. சரி. பார்லிமெண்ட் தான் இது. எத்தனை பேர்? 2 கரெக்ட். நிறைய பேர் என்ன அப்ஸ்டைனிங் ஃப்ரம் ஓட்டிங்கா? நான் தான் அட்டெண்டே பண்ணலையே, எனக்கு அதுக்கு சம்பந்தமே இல்லை. அப்படியா? சரி, ஃபண்டமெண்டல் டியூட்டிஸ் வராது வராது. Why? What is the logic you are using to tell that this will not come? Tell me. Because I wanted to know how you think. Without knowing how you think, I will not know what you think. First question is how you think. Hmm? Whether you say this will come or not. வராது. வரும். Why வராது? Why it will not come? Then preamble will come. Huh? Preamble will come. How many of you say preamble will not come? அப்போ if preamble can come, why not DPSP? Why not DPSP? If preamble should come, why not DPSP? Logical mind will have to be put into action. Logical mind. See, what is this? Right and duties are correlatives of each other or not? If there is a right, there is a duty. If there is a duty, there is a right. If right is there, duty also should come or not? If preamble is there, DPSP should come or not? If preamble எனக்கு தெரியாதுன்னா என்ன பண்றது? Simple. What preamble is telling? Equality. Fraternity comes. Liberty, equality, fraternity. So liberty is there, which is your right. Equality is there, which is also your right. Fundamental right should have right to equality, right to liberty or not? Then if you say fundamental right should come, then definitely going by logical mind, all should come. ஃப்ளூக்லாம் ஆல் தி அபோவ் சொல்லக்கூடாது. ஏன்னா இப்படி இருக்காது. அங்க கரெக்டான ஆன்சரையும் யூ ஹாவ் டு ரீதிங்க். அதான் கரெக்ட்னு விட்டுறக்கூடாது. ஏன்னா தப்பா கூட நம்ம கரெக்டா இருக்கலாம். நிறைய டைம் என்ன பண்ணுவோம், கரெக்டா தப்பா இருப்போம். சில சமயம் என்ன பண்ணுவோம், தப்பா தான் இருப்போம், ஆனா கரெக்டா ஆன்சர் வந்துடும். காட் இஸ் கிரேட் அப்படின்னு விட்டுருவோம். ஆனா அங்கதான் கொஸ்டின் கேட்க போறாங்க. somewhere they are going to alter that, twist that statement and they'll put you in a different format where we will be lost. சிம்பிளா யோசிங்கப்பா. ரைட் இருந்தா பிரியாம்பிள் என்ன, ரைட் தானப்பா. அப்போ ரைட் இருந்தா பிரியாம்பிள் இருக்கணும், பிரியாம்பிள் இருந்தா டிபிஎஸ்பி இருக்கணும், ரைட் இருந்தா டியூட்டியும் இருக்கணும். You need not go and refer UN Declaration of Human Rights. The complete charter need not be read. Logical mind will give you the answer. Understood? So all the above. What is the answer? Consider the following statements. Rule of law is based on the idea that law should stand above every powerful person and agency in the land. Rule by law connotes that instrumental use of law as a tool of political power. We are making a distinction between rule of law and rule by law. Rule of law is different from rule by law. Rule of law means law will rule us. Rule of law means what? Lex rex. Lex means law. Rex means king. Law is king. So everybody will have to follow the law. That is what is rule of law. Rule by law means you make a law. You make a law to make you more powerful. The ruler is making a law to increase his power. And now he is telling this is law, you should follow. So, rule by law can be an arbitrary law. But rule of law will have to be a reasonable law. It cannot be arbitrary, it cannot be uncontrolled power. Understanding why that question right to equality came. We had another question about uncontrolled power. Rule of law is contained in Article 14, right to equality. Rule of law means law should be fair. But rule by law means law may be unfair as well. So it is an instrument which will be a political empowerment of the ruler. Right? So answer is what? Answer is? Not correct, we have asked. Not correct means what? Neither one nor two. Because both are correct. Not correct is asked, neither one nor two. The economic and social well-being of citizen in a welfare state based on what? Will this come? Equality of outcome. Equality of opportunity only can be given. Equality of outcome cannot be guaranteed. Equal distribution of wealth. 39B. Public responsibility for those who cannot afford the minimal provision. So answer is 2 and 3. Which are the main characteristics of sovereignty? Sovereignty means originality. What do you mean by this originality? What do you mean by originality? Originality means primacy, authentic. Absoluteness means what? You have every power within your territory. You are supreme internally. You are independent externally. That is what is sovereignty. Permanence. Sovereignty is a permanent concept or it is temporary? Permanent. It cannot be altered. It cannot be just changed. It is, since it is original, it has to be permanent. Since it is original, it has to be complete, absolute. Alienability means what? You can separate from it. Separation, is it possible in sovereignty? Is there any separation possible? You can't go away from the sovereign. You can't. Right to secede is not given. When there is a sovereign state, you cannot have right to secede, right to break from that. So alienability should not be there. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. What? Originality means first came what? What is social contract theory? First came state and that state is becoming all powerful. So it is original because it came first. That is why it is called original. You call original constitution, no, which was made by the Constituent Assembly. That is what is original. So it came first. That is why you call it as original. Sovereign state came first. Consider the following statement. Social democracy is characterized by state control. Democratic socialism relies on the efficiency. What do you mean by these two terms? There should be some confusion regarding these two terms, social democracy and democratic socialism. They are two different terms. Right? So, social democracy means democracy means the market will be controlling the affairs. Democracy is the other side of free market economy. So whenever there is a free market economy, there has to be democracy. Otherwise, free market economy will not function properly. Today, there is some sort of controversy, some fishy things going on in China. Because of this incompatibility, they are having open market economy, but they are not democratic. So, open market economy wanted democracy and democracy wanted open market economy. In social democracy, what we have is that we have the government which will ensure that market is running based on efficiency. The market will run economy, whereas the government will run administration. That is what is social democracy. Democratic socialism means nationalization of resources. It means that the state is controlling the economy. So this is the definition of this, and this should be defined in this way. We have just swapped both concepts, and therefore answer is neither one nor two. Social democracy is only capitalism. Yes. Social democracy is capitalism, but capitalism will be allowed by the government. Government will see to that whether the goods and services are not unequally distributed more. So there is always a break which is there with the government. Government will rely on the market. But market, why government is relying on market, you tell me, in capitalism? To make the people poor and some people rich, or what? What is the purpose of democracy? Freedom is the purpose of democracy. Freedom everywhere. Freedom in economy, freedom in polity. But democracy is giving you liberty economically, liberty politically, liberty socially. So it is the other name for liberty, democracy. But at the same time, liberty is not a license. Liberty is not unrestricted freedom. Democracy gives you restricted freedom. So market will be let open. Government will encourage market. Government will ask for FDI to come. Government will have the cooperation with the private players, request the private players, investment summit, and all. Why we are making? We are making investment summits happen because then only people from other countries, private players will come, transnational companies will come and invest in your place. So you believe that market will work efficiently. But you always have an eye on the market. When it is too much difficult for the poor people, then the government will take over. But that is the last resort. When it comes to democratic socialism, completely government will control the economy. and economic resources will be distributed equally by the government. When Pandit Nehru was asked about the socialist character of the state in the Avadi Congress session 1955, the Congress made a resolution saying that we are socialist. What the Avadi Congress session told in 1955 was inserted in the preamble in 1976 after 20 years. Before 20 years itself, we have told. Pandit Nehru was asked, Dr. Ambedkar was asked, why didn't you write socialism in the preamble? But they told that even though we have not written the word socialism in the preamble, in 39B, 39C, there is present socialism. So, even secular we have not written because 25 to 28 is having secularism. It is there adequately inside, so need not write outside. Understood? Pandit Nehru was telling that our socialism is not like a communism. Our socialism is not like communism. In communism, complete nationalization of resources. But ours is key resources will be controlled by government only. Very key resources will be governed by government only. We will give selective nationalization. So, he says that it is a combination of democracy and communism. That is what is democratic socialism. Aggressively, you will not give open market economy. You will not just rely only on the market. By and large, the economy will be controlled by you. And certain things which you think that the private player can do better than you, give that to them. You don't make the soap and agarbatti. Let it be given to private company. Let them make. But I will run the key infrastructures. I will control the infrastructural facility like port, like airport, like railway, which is very, very important. So, that is what is democratic socialism. Now, read the statement. Have you understood the concept? Social democracy means it is more democratic than social. Democratic socialism means more socialist, less democratic. And we have swapped the statement. First statement is for democratic socialism. Second is for social democracy. So, which is correct? Both are wrong. Swapped. A foreigner can acquire Indian citizenship through what? Descent can foreigner acquire through descent. Descent can, no, definitely not. How can you get through descent? Foreigner can get through descent or what? Definitely not. Now the confusion will be between these two. Because Sonia Gandhi went to this route and Mother Teresa got this route. But registration is what? Registration, your qualification is based on some Indian. Always you are dependent on an Indian to get the citizenship. So there is always present an Indian dimension to registration. You should marry an Indian, then only a foreigner can become the Indian citizen. And purely you are foreigner, the route is naturalization. Which one? Okay. My question is, which is the best option? வாங்க, நீங்க தான் வரணும். சரிப்பா. இப்ப நான் சொல்றது என்னன்னா, இதுல எது பெஸ்ட்னு சொல்லுங்க. Persons person of Indian origin is dependent on some Indianness. You are completely a foreigner. You are completely a foreigner. See, just you are a PIO. PIO has some Indian tagline that you are a past Indian or your ancestor is a past Indian. There is always a tag which you have with an Indian, either the past or the present, for getting citizenship through registration. But when it comes to complete foreigner, here where the choice was put in such a way that which answer is the best answer? Can acquire means what? But out of these three choices, you have to choose the best. All of the descent a foreigner. எதுப்பா? Descendants choose பண்ண முடியுமா? Person of Indian origin, the context of the question is that foreigner is a person who is no way connected to Indian nature. Indianness is not present in the person. So when you are thinking, your answer somewhere should have a differentia. Try to understand this strategy. You should use a differentia which will differentiate A from B, A from C, A from D. That differentia should be understandable differentia. It should not be a differentia which will be very, very fluid, because otherwise every answer will become right answer somehow. The differentia is nothing but some criteria you are using to differentiate A from B, B from C, C from D, right? That differentia should be an intelligible differentia in the sense that that differentia should be a solid differentia, which means that it has to have some sort of exclusivity. A differentia should have exclusivity. அந்த கிரைட்டீரியாவை நான் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது இதையும் யூஸ் பண்ணுவேன், இதையும் யூஸ் பண்ணுவேன், இதையும் யூஸ் பண்ணுவேன்னா என்னோட ஆன்சர் எல்லாமே கரெக்டா இருக்கும். எல்லாமே கரெக்டா இருக்கும். அப்போ நீங்க எப்படி யோசிக்கணும் அப்படின்னா, ஒரு கிரைட்டீரியாவை நீங்க எடுக்கிறீங்க, யூ ஆர் டேக்கிங் அப் அ கிரைட்டீரியா, ரைட்? அந்த கிரைட்டீரியாங்கிறது எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவா இருக்கணும். அந்த சிங்கிள் கிரைட்டீரியா வச்சு நீங்க நிறைய ஆன்சர் வராதுன்னு சொல்லணும். அதுதான் கிரைட்டீரியா. ஒரு ஃப்ளூயிடான கிரைட்டீரியாவை எடுத்து இதுவும் வரும், இதுவும் வரும், அதுவும் வரும் அப்படின்னா அந்த லாஜிக் ஒர்க் ஆகாது. ஏன்னா என்ன உங்களை டெஸ்ட் பண்றாங்க இதுல? சிம்பிள். த வெரி ஃபேக்ட் தட் மோர் தென் ஒன் ஆன்சர் இஸ் சீமிங் டு பி ரைட். கரெக்டா? இதுதான் க்ளூ நான் கொடுக்கிறது. மோர் தென் ஒன் ஆன்சர் கரெக்டா இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும்? கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும். ஏன் கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னா, நீங்க சூஸ் பண்ற சாய்ஸுக்கு ஒரு கிரைட்டீரியா அண்டர்லைங்கா இருக்கணும். அந்த கிரைட்டீரியா வச்சு மற்ற சாய்ஸ் இல்லைன்னு டெஃபினட்டா சொல்ல தெரியணும். அப்படி ஒரு கிரைட்டீரியாவை வச்சு டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி பார்க்கும்போது தான் யூ வில் பி ஏபிள் டு ஃபைண்ட் தட் எல்லாத்தையும் என்னால இன்க்ளூட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஏதாவது ஒன்று சாலிடான கிரைட்டீரியா வச்சு நான் எக்ஸ்க்ளூட் பண்ணணும். அந்த சாலிடான கிரைட்டீரியா வச்சு நான் எக்ஸ்க்ளூட் பண்ணி பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு ஒரு ஆன்சர் தான் நிற்கும். அதுதான் கரெக்ட் ஆன்சர். அப்ப இது அப்படி இல்லை. இதையும் யோசிக்கலாம், அதையும் யோசிக்கலாம், ஆல் தி அபவும் சொல்லலாம்னா, when the question is foreigner, அந்த ஃபாரினர் அப்படிங்கிற கான்செப்டே என்ன அர்த்தம்? காமன் சென்சிக்கலி ஸ்பீக்கிங், டெக்னிக்கலா ஒருத்தர் பிஐஓவா இருக்கிறவர் ஃபாரினர் தான். ஏன்னா அவர் அந்த ஊர்ல இருக்கிறாரு, இந்தியன் சிட்டிசனா இருக்க மாட்டாருங்க, அவர் ஃபாரினர் தான். அப்போ அந்த ஃபாரினருக்கு நீங்க ஓவர்சீஸ் சிட்டிசன்ஷிப் ஆஃப் இந்தியான்னு கொடுக்குறீங்க. ஏன் கொடுக்குறீங்க? ஏன் ஒரு ஃபாரினருக்கு, ஒரு அயர்லாண்டுக்காரருக்கு ஏன் கொடுக்கல அதை நீங்க? ஏன் பிஐஓ கார்டு கொடுக்குறீங்க ஒருத்தருக்கு மட்டும், ஒரு குரூப்புக்கு மட்டும்? அப்போ நீங்க எக்ஸ்க்ளூட் பண்றீங்களா இல்லையா? சிட்டிசன்ஷிப், ட்ரை டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தட் தி சிட்டிசன்ஷிப் கான்செப்ட்ங்கிறது இன்க்ளூசிவா எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவா? இது சொல்லுங்க நீங்க. சிட்டிசன்ஷிப் அப்படிங்கிற கான்செப்டை வச்சு நான் எல்லாரும் இதுல சிட்டிசன் சொல்லுவேனா, இவன் மட்டும்தான் சிட்டிசன் சொல்லுவேனா? Is it an exclusive concept or inclusive concept? Exclusive. எல்லாரையும் சிட்டிசனா சொல்ல முடியாது. இன்னைக்கு குளோபல் சிட்டிசன்ஷிப்ங்கிற கான்செப்ட் இஸ் பிகமிங் வெரி ஃபேமஸ். Environmental citizenship is a concept which is becoming very famous. There is no territory and all. Wherever you are going, you have to have a right to green nature. You have to have right to oxygen. Everywhere you have this. In the exclusive, citizenship itself is an exclusive concept. When the concept itself is exclusive, any question on the concept which is having the core as exclusive will be selected based on exclusivity, not inclusivity. Try to understand the concept. சிட்டிசன்ஷிப்னா எல்லாருங்கிறது இல்ல, நீ மட்டும்தான், இவங்க மட்டும்தான், வேற யாரும் கிடையாதுன்னு எக்ஸ்க்ளூட் பண்றதுக்கு தான் சிட்டிசன்ஷிப். எல்லாரும் சிட்டிசன் கிடையாது. எல்லாரும் சிட்டிசன்னா குளோபல் சிட்டிசன், எல்லாரும் ஒண்ணுதான், எல்லாரும் யூஎன்ல மெம்பர் தான். ஸோ ஆல்வேஸ் கான்செப்டோட அடிப்படைய, if you understand the basics of the concept, most of the confusions will go. So when citizenship itself is an exclusive concept, I can't include everyone unless and until I have a strong point to not to identify this. எனக்கு இது உண்மை தெரியலன்னு வைங்களேன், என்னால இந்த ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ண முடியல. ஒரு கிரைட்டீரியா ஆப்ஜெக்டிவா அல்லது இன்டெலிஜிபிள் கிரைட்டீரியா என்னால ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ண முடியலன்னா இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணிடுவேன். ஆனா என்னால முடியும். ஃபாரினர் வேற, ஏன்னா ஃபாரினர் இஸ் நாட் டிபெண்டன்ட் ஆன் எனி இந்தியன்னஸ், பாஸ்ட் ஆர் பிரசன்ட். அவங்களுக்கு யாரு, அவங்களோட ரூட் என்ன, இதுதான் அவங்களோட ரூட். அதுக்காக தான் அதையே வச்சிருக்கிறான். இந்த கிரைட்டீரியாவை எதுக்கு வச்சிருக்கிறாங்க? இதெல்லாம் இல்லாம யாராவது ஒருத்தர் ஃபாரினர் இருப்பாங்கல்ல, அவங்களுக்காக உள்ள கிரைட்டீரியா இது. அப்ப கொஸ்டின் என்ன? ஃபாரினர். நீங்க பிஐஓவை ஃபாரினரா நீங்க கன்சிடர் பண்ணல. ஒண்ணுதான் பிஐஓக்கு அல்லது ஓசிஐக்கும் இந்தியன் சிட்டிசனுக்கும் டிஃபரன்ஸ். ஓட்டு போட முடியாதவங்களால நம்ம ஓட்டு போடுறோம், அவ்வளவுதான். மற்றபடி எல்லாம் ஒண்ணுதான். they have right to property, they have right to residence, they have the fee same as that of any other Indian citizen. ஒரே ஒரு பாயிண்ட் என்னன்னா, you have no right to vote. அது ஒண்ணுதான். அப்ப there is no difference. There is absolutely no difference. But this is not the case of a foreigner. அப்ப கான்செப்ட் என்ன? எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ் கான்செப்ட். அது கிரைட்டீரியா என்ன? எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ் கிரைட்டீரியா. அந்த கிரைட்டீரியா எப்படி இருக்கணும்? அந்த கிரைட்டீரியாவை யூஸ் பண்ணி நான் மற்றதை எக்ஸ்க்ளூட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கணும். யூஸ் பண்ணி எக்ஸ்க்ளூட் பண்ண முடிஞ்சதுன்னா அந்த யூஸ் பண்ண கான்செப்ட் தான், அந்த கிரைட்டீரியா தான் கரெக்ட். அப்படி முடியல அப்படின்னா then you have to go for all the above. So it is not about what you understand, it is about go down to look at the concept. அப்ப என்ன பண்ணணும்? மோர் தென் ஒன் கரெக்ட்னா கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும். வேலிடா என்னால ஒரு கிரைட்டீரியா வச்சு மற்ற எல்லாத்தையும் தூக்க முடிஞ்சா அதுதான் கரெக்ட். 99% அந்த ஆன்சர் கரெக்டா இருக்கும். ஏன்னா ஒரு கொஸ்டின் செட்டோட சைக்காலஜி யூ ஷுட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். என்ன சைக்காலஜி இருக்கும் தெரியுமா? ஒரு கொஸ்டின்ல ஒரு கான்செப்டை டெஸ்ட் பண்ணணும்னு நினைப்பாரு. அந்த கான்செப்டை டெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் இஸ் புட்டிங் அ கொஸ்டின். அது யூபிஎஸ்சியாக இருக்கலாம், டிஎன்பிஎஸ்சியாக இருக்கலாம், எதுவானாலும் இருக்கலாம். அந்த கான்செப்டை டெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் கொஸ்டின். அந்த கான்செப்டில் நிறைய ஹாலோனஸை கிரியேட் பண்ணி கடைசியில் அது அப்படியே ரொம்ப ஃப்ரஜைலாக ஆக்குறது இல்லை. அப்படி ஒரு கொஸ்டின் அவர் போட்டாருன்னு வைங்களேன், அந்த கொஸ்டினை சேலஞ்ச் பண்ணலாம், கோர்ட்டுக்கு போனால் ஹிஸ் கொஸ்டின் வில் பி ஹேவிங் எ சிவியர் ப்ராப்ளம். அதனால அந்த டிஃபரன்ஷியா ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ராங்கான டிஃபரன்ஷியா யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அந்த டிஃபரன்ஷியா யூஸ் பண்ணி மற்ற ஆன்சர்லாம் இல்லாமல் இருக்கிற மாதிரி தே வில் ஹேவ் எ கொஸ்டின். ஏன்னா எனி கொஸ்டின் கேன் பி டிஸ்பியூட்டட் இன் தி கோர்ட் ஆஃப் லா. யூபிஎஸ்சி கொஸ்டின் கேன் ஆல்சோ கம் டு தி கோர்ட் ஆஃப் லா சம் டைம் ஆஃப்டர். வரும், யாராவது ஒருத்தர் 10 வருஷத்துக்கு அப்புறம் யாராவது ஒருத்தர் சேலஞ்ச் பண்ணலாம். ஏன்னா கோர்ட் இஸ் பிகமிங் வெரி லிபரல். ஏன்னா யூபிஎஸ்சிக்கெல்லாம் அந்த எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவிட்டி கிடையாது. கம் டிஎன்பிஎஸ்சி கோர்ட்டில் ஆர் சேலஞ்சிங் தி கொஸ்டின். அது மாதிரி யூபிஎஸ்சியை சேலஞ்ச் பண்ணுறதுக்கு இட் வில் ஹேப்பன் வெரி சூன். அதனால கிரைட்டீரியா, டிஃபரன்ஷியல் கிரைட்டீரியா, டிஃபரன்ஷியா ஷுட் பி இன்டெலிஜிபிள். கான்செப்ட் எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவா இன்க்ளூசிவான்னு பார்க்கணும். இன்க்ளூசிவான கான்செப்டுக்கு இன்க்ளூசிவான ஆன்சர் யோசிக்கணும். எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவான கான்செப்டுக்கு எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவான ஆன்சர் தான் யோசிக்கணும். இன்க்ளூசிவான கான்செப்டுக்கு எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவாகவும், எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவான கான்செப்டான சிட்டிசன்ஷிப்க்கு இன்க்ளூசிவாகவும் நீங்கள் யோசிச்சிங்கன்னா ஆன்சர் தப்பாக தான் போகும். கான்செப்ட் எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ்னா ஆன்சரும் எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ் தான். ட்ரை டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் திஸ். 50. Principle of liberty, equality, neutrality, which is the characteristic feature of a secular state? Neutrality வருமா? கண்டிப்பா வரும். ஈக்குவாலிட்டி நெக்ஸ்ட். Writs issued by courts in India consider the following statement: mandamus will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with the public duty. Yes or no? Yes. Mandamus will not lie against a company even though it may be a government company. No. Public minded person can be a petitioner to move the court to obtain the writ of quo warranto. Yes or no? Yes. Only aggrieved person can be a petitioner for mandamus proceeding, whereas it is not necessary in quo warranto. What is the answer? 52. All the decisions of Council of Ministers relating to the administration of the Union must be communicated to the President. Article 78. Yes. President may direct that any matter on which a decision has been taken by a minister should be placed before the Council. President can call for information relating to proposal. President has the right to address and send message to the Council. Parliament under Article 88 or 80s, not 88. 88 is 86, I think. 86, right to send message. இது தப்பா? எத்தனை பேர் இதுல தப்பு பண்ணீங்க? ஆன்சர் என்ன? 1 2 3. எப்படி ரீட் பண்ணீங்க? டெல் மீ. Right to address and send message to the Council of Ministers. What actually happened in your mind? Tell me. என்ன நடந்துச்சு? So that you understand you better. Prime Minister? Prime Minister? சரி. பிரசிடென்ட் பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் கேட்பாரு, பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் கவுன்சில் ஆஃப் மினிஸ்டர் கேட்பாரு. இட் கேன் பி கிளாரிஃபைடு பை who? President of India. Directly he cannot communicate to any minister. Through prime minister only he can communicate. That is what is Article 78. That is what is Article 78. So 1 2 3 53 368. Tell me. Representation of state in parliament, yes or no? Manner of election of president. 7th schedule, fundamental right, because it requires 2/3 present plus voting plus half of the total strength. That's all. It does not require this state ratification. So 1, 2, 3. Next, 54. Part 3, right to minority to impart education to children in their mother tongue. Is it a part 3 right? 350A, not part 3. Admission, where? Not to private, only state institution. Both are wrong. Yes or no? This is what? Article 20. See, we are asking which article? 29, 30, right? What is 21, 29? Right to preserve culture, 20, 29, part 1. Part 2 is what? Right to admission in government schools. Right to admission in government schools. That's all, not in private schools. If you say private schools, then it should be 15 class 5, not 29 class 2. So both are wrong. Neither one nor two. Next, the protection against self-incrimination extends to Article 20. It applies to both civil, both documentary and oral evidence. It is applicable to criminal proceeding, not to civil proceeding. Double jeopardy is not available for departmental proceedings. Yes. This is the question connected to Article 20. All the above are correct. Any doubt? Right. Next. Has not been conferred on the President. Removal of judges of the High Court. Is it a power conferred on the President? Yes. Decision on disqualification of the member of Parliament on his own discretion. He has to act as per the Election Commission of India's advice based on Article 103. So this is not available. Removal of State Public Service Commission. Is this available? Removal of State Public Service Commission Chairman. Removal is? Yes or no? Granting pardon to person sentenced under court martial. So which is not correct? Procedure for amendment of the constitution is borrowed from prior permission of president is required for bill concerning alteration. Who told the truth? Why? You confused with Article 3, yes or no? You confused with Article 3. Article 2 is what is the question? Or Article 3? Prior permission is required. Only Parliament of India is endowed with the power to amend the Constitution of India. So answer is 2 and 3. Always be careful. 2 and 3. So this will come. Then, which one of the following writ is regarded as the most valuable right for protection of personal liberty? No doubt at all. No doubt. Any doubt? No doubt. 59. Right to be forgotten means what? Publicly available personal information should be removed from the internet. Why? Once a person was arrested and it came in the newspaper. That will be permanently stored in the internet. So this will be definitely violating his right to privacy. What news came before 20 years about this person will be there permanently. It has to be removed, which will be violating his privacy. But unfortunately, we don't have any law to provide for this. The data protection bill also has been removed. The only law which we have is Telecommunication Rule 2011, which also does not permit right to be forgotten. Legal provision, which means what? Law should be there. Is there any law? And they have removed, no? 21? பண்ணட்டும் பண்ணட்டும். இதுதான் பிரச்சனை. Judicial legal separation is based on intelligible differentiation or not. Both are same, you say. Is this same as this? No. Is this intelligible differentia? I can differentiate or not using a criteria which can exclude something. What I told, what logic I have given in the citizenship question. Yeah, differentia should be used by you. With the help of that, you should be able to say no to something. Only if that differentia is not there, then you can't apply it. The purpose is, do we have any law to protect this right to be forgotten? Inquiry committee? No, the question is, do you have a law? Legal provision means what? Law, whatever judgment was made by the court, Supreme Court or High Court, has the force of law. But law is different from judgment. Law is different from judgment. Vishaka guideline, what the court told, till you come out with a law, this will be law. And they have come out with a law. On which case? Right to be forgotten or sexual harassment at workplace? Which one? Which one, Vishaka? Right to be forgotten? So what they told, till you come out with a law on sexual harassment, or this will be applicable to all cases. What they have told? They have told specific. Here where I tell you, the specific cannot be generalized. The generalized cannot be specified. A general statement should be read as a general statement. A specific statement should be read as a specific statement. Now confusion comes, which is the general statement, which is the specific statement. Here only I give you this strategy, that something you use as a criteria, based on the criteria you should be able to tell this is different, that is different. Criteria is used only for classification. Criteria is always used for classification. Try to understand this. You are using criteria not for inclusion. You are using criteria only for classification. Classification is not inclusion. Classification is exclusion. Classification ennapa? Classify based on age na enna? Inclusion or exclusion? Classification based on caste na? Inclusion or exclusion? Appa classification na enna? Exclusion. Definitely, I tell you that this logic, if you apply, most of the answers will be correct answer. We are telling legal provision. Legal provision na enna artham? Law da artham. Law da artham. Law irukkuda illiya? Specifically provides for. அப்போ எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டா இன்க்ளூசிவ் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டா? என்ன ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இது? எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ் தானே. ஏன்னா திரும்ப திரும்ப நம்ம சொல்றோம் ஸ்பெசிபிக்கலி லீகல் ப்ரொவிஷன். அப்போ An exclusive statement cannot be read as an inclusive statement. Right? So answer enna? Try to understand this. There is one concept called court law. There is one concept called as executive legislation. Court law. அப்படின்னா என்னன்னா, law normally should not be made by court. Law should be made by parliament, legislation. Court should have to review the law. And executive should not make law, executive should implement the law. But there are some exceptions that if law is not there, court will be able to tell that my judgment is like law, as in the case of Vishaka. Or if legislation is not there, the executive will make a government order which will have the force of law. All these are what? Exceptions. இதெல்லாம் exceptions. They are not general rule. This is not norm. They are exceptions to the norm. The Supreme Court of India, the Chief Justice of India has told many times that this is the place where we have to use so much of our restraint, we will not enter. It is the government discretion. Judicial review is not uncontrolled power. Judicial review will have to be used with restraint, otherwise activism will become overreach. Who told this? Supreme Court, Chief Justice of India. அப்ப அது நாம் கிடையாது. Whenever they are making some observation, Vishaka guideline, what they told, it is very unfortunate that till 1997 we don't have a law to protect women from sexual harassment at the workplace. This is very bad. And law, if you have to make, it takes so much of your time, because making law is very cumbersome in parliament. Till then, who will protect the women from sexual harassment at the workplace? We will make guideline. Let this guideline be having the force of law. That's all. That's all. Let you come out with a separate law. Till then, this will be the law. It is not telling till then it will be the, till then it is saying it will be having the force of law. It is not law. It is having the force of law. Meaning what? சட்டம் இல்லைன்னு அர்த்தம். ஆனா சட்டம் மாதிரின்னு அர்த்தம். மாதிரின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? இல்லைன்னு அர்த்தம். நான் உங்களை மாதிரி இருக்கிறேன்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? நான் வேற நீங்க வேற தானே? எஸ் ஆர் நோ? புரியலையா? புரியுதா புரியலையா? அண்ணனும் தம்பி ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கிறாங்க, ரெண்டு ஒண்ணா? மாதிரின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? வேறன்னு அர்த்தம். ரைட்? ஆன்சர் என்ன? அப்பா நல்ல வேலைப்பா. Cognizable offenses are those in which investigation authority can arrest the accused without an arrest warrant, whereas non-cognizable offenses are those in which the investigation authority cannot arrest an accused without an arrest warrant. Some of you should feel like this. I don't want to get arrested. I'll go to the next question. What is cognizable offense? An offense which is made, there is no settlement. Verdict will have to come. No compromise. A murder is committed, right? A murder is committed. And it is not that the party, which is the victim, can take compensation from the murderer and withdraw the case. No. It has to come only from the verdict of the court. Compromise cannot be made. It is called compoundable, non-compoundable. Cognizable means without arrest warrant you can be arrested. Non-cognizable means cognizable means only without arrest warrant you can be arrested. Non-cognizable means only with arrest warrant you can be arrested. So cognizable offenses are those in which investigation authority can arrest the accused without an arrest warrant. Yes. Whereas non-cognizable means you can arrest the person, cannot arrest the person without. Correct, Adappa? Correct. Compoundable offense are those offenses in which the parties cannot compromise. Cannot compromise, whereas non-compoundable offense are cases where agree to take back the charges levied against the accused. So, correct? Statement is correct or wrong? Why? No. Statement I am asking. I am not asking the answer. Both the statements are correct or wrong? Correct. Not. How compoundable offenses are more serious offenses in which parties cannot compromise. Compoundable means not compromised, no settlement. Non-compoundable only, there can be a settlement. I'll give you 1 minute time. நீங்க சொல்லுங்கப்பா. Compoundable. Compoundable, no compromise. Who? Compoundable can compromise. Non-compoundable cannot compromise. Correct? Correct. Correct. So one is correct. The second is swapped. One is correct. The second is swapped. Answer enna? Two only. Just we have swapped. Compoundable means can. Non-compoundable means cannot. இதை மட்டும் ஸ்வாப் பண்ணியாச்சு. So 1 is right, 2 is wrong. But which is wrong we have asked. 2 is wrong and that is the answer. 61. Consider the following statement regarding the preventive detention. Parliament has exclusive authority to make a law of preventive detention for reasons connected with defense, foreign affairs and security of India. Yes or no? Item number 9 of Union List. Both Parliament and state legislature can concurrently make a law on preventive detention for reasons connected with security of the state, maintenance of public order and maintenance of supplies and services essential to the community. Yes or no? Item number 3 of the concurrent list. So both are correct. Both are correct. Concurrently preventive detention subject is present in both Union List and the concurrent list. Both you have, but the topic on which you have to make preventive detention varies. They have these topics in the Union List, so preventive detention can be made by them on this list, but here both of them can make. This is written in Schedule 7, concurrent list, item number 3, Union List, item number 9. So both 1 and 2. Next. President of US has constitutional right to pardon or commute a sentence related to federal crime, whereas pardoning power of the Indian president applies to federal crimes as well as the state crimes. What is the answer? What is the answer? Correct adappa? US president pardoning power, we are not having any idea. That is the problem, I think. But this statement is a correct statement. Mercy petition is forwarded by the president to the Home Ministry seeking its advice. The Law Ministry consults the concerned state government. Role of Law Ministry will not come. Consultation is done by the Home Ministry only. So 3 should not come. Answer is 1 and 2. Provide an enabling framework for the government, not the purpose of Indian Constitution. Provide an enabling framework for the government to take positive measures to overcome forms of inequality or deprivation. Yes or no? Definitely yes. To express the aspirations and goals of the society. Allocating decision-making power to government largely should not come. Right? Setting some limits to the government power. Definitely yes. Not correct. C is not correct. Next. With reference to Constituent Assembly, which one of the following statement is or correct? The Constituent Assembly reassembled for divided India on 14th August 1947. Yes or no? When? When? Huh? What is the statement, whether it is right or wrong? This statement is a right statement. Its members were elected by indirect election. Number of assembly members got reduced to 299, out of which 284 were actually present on November and appended their signature to the constitution and as finally passed. All the 3 statements are correct statements only. Factual statements they are. So just you have to by heart. Next. Fundamental rights. No government can ever be allowed to violate fundamental rights that all of us possess as citizens. Yes or no? No, some should tell no. Why no? Emergency period. So, conceptually speaking, fundamental rights will be like this, that they are the rights given to people, but there are some places where these rights will be violated. Will it be that, conceptually speaking? The word fundamental means what? They are so basic that they should not be abrogated. They cannot be abrogated. But there are some extraneous situations, some exceptional situations where you have to do that, but you have to be very careful. Conceptually speaking, fundamental rights are those rights which are very essential for the overall development of the individual. The spiritual, physical, intellectual development of the individual cannot happen without these rights. So no government can violate this right, conceptually speaking. If you say that they are very, very essential but they can be violated, then you are diluting the concept of fundamental. Understood? Emergency and all is what? Exception. Emergency is not a normal. It is extraordinary situation. Fundamental rights can never ever be. That is why you are giving a status that when violated, directly you go to Supreme Court. Because it is so fundamental that no government should violate. That is what is the concept. Constitution specifies the circumstances. This is also right. This is also right. Both are correct. But both may appear as if they are opposites. But conceptually, this is correct. Can never ever be allowed. Which one? What we are telling is about fundamental rights. When the question is relation between fundamental rights and DPSP, you can bring all these things. The question is about the concept of fundamental rights. (39B), (39C) can violate 14 and 19 only. It is not that it can violate fundamental rights. Because when you say it can violate fundamental rights, it is all fundamental rights. Why you are telling only 14 and 19? Because they are exceptions. When this is the objective, that equitable distribution, land reform, this will be touched. So for a greater purpose, you have to allow 14, 19 to be little bit violated. No problem. And that too they are bringing through amendment. First amendment. When the land reform. Then they are bringing 25th amendment to tell 39B, 39C. So it is fundamental. That's all. When you read the statement as a concept. Ifs and buts when you bring. When I should bring ifs and buts? When in the question there will be some clear-cut clue given. But this question is purely on fundamental rights. For that matter, DPSP and fundamental right distinction itself is not there. You know, there is no distinction. Because the court is telling DPSP and fundamental right almost both are important concerns of the constitution, and therefore both has to be taken equally, which means that DPSP should be enforced in the court of law. No. So this is a statement, you know, where it is written, where the statement is directly lifted from NCERT textbook. It is a statement lifted from NCERT textbook. And that is what the real fundamental. The term fundamental is this, that it cannot be violated. But there are certain situations which are exceptions, not the norm. Both are correct. Next. Constitutions are written documents about formation and power of the government, yes or no? Constitution exists and are required only in democratic countries. Even in dictatorship country, there can be constitution. It's a legal document that does deal with ideals and values. It gives new identity to people, that we are all Indians. So, answer should be 1, 3 and 4. Next. From whom does Constitution protect the rights of the individual? All the above. Judiciary should not come, no. That is what is the choice given, but actually judiciary told this will come. Huh? Definitely judiciary told that we also will come under the definition of state. Judiciary, though not written in the text of the constitution, because of the understanding that what is the guarantor, who is the guarantor of the constitution cannot be a violator of the constitution, violator of the fundamental right. Who is the guarantor of the fundamental right should not be a violator of fundamental right. That is why they have not added judiciary. But court said that it is highly possible that court can also violate the fundamental right, and court also is included. Court will, ஆமா ஆமா அதுதான், ஒரு கோர்ட் தப்பு பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா இன்னொரு கோர்ட் அதை சரி பண்ணணும்ல. If one court is violating your right, the higher court or the Supreme Court will have to protect your rights. But court also can violate your rights. So all the above should come. Who among the following headed the committee that has demanded a Bill of Rights? 1928. Nehru, Motilal Nehru. Ardap. Aller. Supreme Court has ruled that the right to life includes what? This one? All the above. All the above. All come under Article 21 according to Supreme Court of India. They told that right against exploitation is there in fundamental right, but it is there in DPSP as well, which is there in Article 46. So this also will come under the scope of Article 21. All the above. The chapter on DPSP is mainly doing the following things: goals and objectives that we as a society should adopt, yes or no? Certain rights and duties of the individuals. DPSP and individual. Duty of the individual. Duty of the individual. Where is the duty of the individual? Right of the individual. Yes. 41. Right of the individual. But duty is not there. Certain policies that all organs of the state should adopt. என்னப்பா சரி, அதெல்லாம் யாரு நேஷனல் மோனுமெண்ட்டை ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணணும்? நீங்களும் நானுமா? என்னப்பா நீங்க? டிபிஎஸ்பினா என்னப்பா அது? இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் given to whom? கவர்மெண்ட். எனக்கா இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் இருக்குது இதுல? அப்போ what government should do? They have to protect the monuments, Article 49, places, objects and monuments of national importance, which is why you have an act made in 1940, 1950, Protection of National Monuments Act. Who will make? It is a direction given to the government, state, not to me. Organs of the state, all organs of the state. Yes or no? How many of you say yes? Somebody should say no. இது சிசேட் இல்லப்பா, இதுதான் இன்னொரு தப்பு. இங்கிலீஷ் கிராமர். You say that DPSP may be adopted. What I told, Article 37. State shall, must. It is not may. Must. Shall means must. State shall follow these directives in making law. Very clear. All organs. It applies to who? Whether it applies to judiciary, whether DPSP applies to judiciary, doesn't apply to all. It applies to legislature and executive, not judiciary. So this statement also is wrong. Answer is one only. Next. The Constitution does not say anything about forcing these duties. Yes or no? Constitution makes enjoyment of rights dependent on duties. Independent of duties, you can enjoy your rights. One only. I will do the duty, then only you will get the right. Is not here. You have the right. Even duty is not enforceable. So what is the answer? One only. Then what? Fundamental rights mainly protect the rights of the individuals. Yes or no? Who says no? The concept of fundamental right is individual right, because absence of individual right, prevalence of collective right, in the name of collective right, group right, individual right is violated, which is why you have to bring the concept of fundamental right. In all societies, group right violated the individual right. So protection of individual right therefore becomes important, and the concept of fundamental right came for individual development. Incidentally, there are some group rights, but mainly individual rights. Directive principles ensure the well-being of the entire society. Yes or no? Yes. So answer is both 1 and 2. 73. Directive principles contain only rights of society as a whole. Rights of society as a whole. Now, what is the concept of DPSP? Society as a whole or individual? Whole. Whole. Incidentally individual. Like in DPSP, you have individual rights, you have in fundamental rights group right. But the concept is that group will have to be protected. Group will have to be protected. So, it is not right of individual and society, it is only the right of society as a whole. That is a right statement. Again, எங்க இருந்து வந்துச்சு இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்? NCERT. Directive principles are fundamental in the governance of the country. Article 37. Law made under DPSP is not enforceable. Wrong. As DPSP only it is not enforceable. If law is made under DPSP, it will be enforceable. For example, because of 46 only, you have this EWS 103rd Amendment Act came. Because of Article 46 only, economically weaker section concept came and 103 amendment came. So law, if made under DPSP, it will be enforceable. As DPSP only, it is not enforceable. So answer is what? 1 and 2. Fundamental rights and directive principles are complementary to each other because fundamental rights restrain the government from doing certain things. Yes or no? DPSP exhort the government to do certain things. Exhort na enna? Tells, encourages. So this is do's, don'ts, and this is do's. Therefore answer is both. Directive principle seeks to promote the welfare of the people through promotion of which of the following? Social, economic. not political. Article 38 clause 1 says, state shall endeavor to secure and promote social order in which justice, that is social, political, economic, shall inform all institutions of national life. (38) clause 1. கண்டிப்பா நிறைய பேர் தப்பு பண்ணிருப்பீங்களே. அதான் 38 ரீட் பண்ணலன்னா அதான். Fundamental rights are rights given to citizens by law. Yes or no? Yes தானே? Yeah, no? Constitution. Don't tell constitution itself is fundamental law. தப்பு. Sir, constitution is also law only, no? It's fundamental law. அப்படின்னா அப்ப லாவும் கான்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் ஒண்ணா? Law is made by parliament. Constitution was made by Constituent Assembly. This is wrong. Rights are, they are rights given and protected by the Constitution. They are rights given by Constitution, cannot be ever be cannot ever be restricted. They are rights given by Constitution which cannot be restricted. See here, the earlier statement why I said that no government can ever violate fundamental right, because I have asked about the concept of fundamental right. Here I am giving a clue according to Constitution of India. So here it is right, there it is wrong. There it is right, here it is what? It is not that we cannot restrict, we can restrict, because Constitution itself has provided restrictions under Article 19 clause 2 to Article 19 clause 6. Grounds of restrictions given. அப்போ கான்செப்டா கேக்குறாங்களா கான்ஸ்டிடியூஷனா கேக்குறாங்களாங்கிற டிவிஷன் பண்ணி பார்க்கணும். டிஃபரன்ஷியா, இன்டெலிஜிபிள் டிஃபரன்ஷியா. They are rights available for individuals only. இது தப்பு தானே? குரூப்புக்கும் இருக்குது. மெயின்லின்னா கரெக்ட், ஒன்லின்னா தப்பு. ஸோ ஆன்சர் என்ன? 2 only. Children belonging to majority group cannot study in educational institution established by minority. Wrong. Children can study in the minority school. Majority children can study in minority school. Only thing is that minority school can reserve some seats for their children. Linguistic and religious minorities can open schools for their children and keep it reserved for them. Yes or no? Yes. Linguistic and religious minorities cannot demand that their children must not study in any institution except those managed by their own community. It is wrong. They cannot tell that my children cannot study in your school. My children cannot study in your school. That they cannot claim, no. Right? Cannot demand. Yes or no? Answer is what? 2 and 3. Who among the following moved the resolution proposing the national flag be horizontal tricolor of saffron, white and dark green in equal proportion with a wheel in navy blue at the center? Nehru. Democratic. Why democratic is not used in objective resolution? Because objective resolution says India is independent, sovereign and republic. Democracy is not used in objective resolution. Why he says this? The specific form of democracy must be decided through deliberation, because many types of democracies are there. We'll decide after talking to each other. System of government established in India had to fit with the temper of our people and be acceptable to them, because whenever you are creating democracy, definitely you will be guided by the Western democracy. Western democracy may not be suitable to India. because in case of America, absolute rights were given. Fundamental rights are absolute rights. So that cannot be used in India. We have to understand that we are different from them. So we cannot blindly imitate them. That is why he says that the type of democracy which we wanted, we will sit and discuss. We will not blindly imitate Western model of democracy because it may not fit for us. So both the statements were given by Pandit Nehru explaining why democracy is not used. Which is ensuring federalism. Hindi is the official language, federalism or not? Hindi is official language. If Hindi is a national language, it is against federalism. That is why they have used this official language concept. Because you have to talk to different people. 40% of Indians are speaking in Hindi. They may be located in different places. So, the Hindi promotion is a duty for the government under Article 351. Promotion of Hindi as an official language so that it will become a medium of expression for all the elements of this culture. In the culture is a very diversified culture. Every element should be speaking in one language, which has to be a link language. It is not a national language. It is only an official language. So this is right. Same party, if rules in all states and center, it will not give federalism, which is why 1967, against the unitary character of Congress, which was there in center and state, regional parties came. First party to overthrow Congress was DMK, 1967. So this is not going to ensure federalism. No single party gets clear majority in Lok Sabha. And this will ensure what? Coalition government, which is good for federalism or not? So answer is 1 and 3. Identify the correct answer. Every parliamentary system is representative, but not every representative system must be parliamentary. Every representative system must be parliamentary, but not every parliamentary system is representative. Every representative system must be parliamentary. How can this be? There may be a representative system which is presidential system like America, which is also representative of people. Not only parliamentary system is representing people, even presidential system is representing people, and that is what is the experience of America, which is the first democracy of the world. So this is wrong. Answer therefore is A. New states will have to be admitted. No bill for the purpose. So we are asking about Article 2. No bill for the purpose shall be introduced in Parliament except on the recommendation of President. This is there only for 3, not for 2. The bill for the purpose should be introduced only in Lok Sabha. This is also wrong. Both are wrong. Neither 1 nor 2. I am asking about Article 2. Some of you should confuse with Article 3. Definitely there should be some people, when they read the statement, they'll think that it is about Article 3. So, both are wrong. The purpose of writ of habeas corpus is to determine the guilt or innocence of the prisoner. Yes or no? In a family law, a parent who has been denied custody of his child by a trial court may file a habeas corpus petition. A party may file a habeas corpus petition if the judge declares her in the contempt of court and jails her. Why no? Contempt of court only. If it is contempt of court, you can't seek habeas corpus or what? You can. If it is lawful detention, they'll allow. If it is not lawful detention, they'll set free. But this also is allowed. Right? Everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. Yes or no? Duty is necessary for personality. Yes or no? If I am doing my duty, I will develop as one of the good personality, because duty is moral. You must respect your own duty. So duty is ethics, which is essential for your personality. Therefore, the statement is right. Rights are equally an entitlement and a duty. If you have right, you have a duty to protect others' right. If you have a right, you have a duty to protect others' right. So with right always will come duty. Second statement is right. Rights are both freedoms and duties. When right is a freedom, freedom is also, when right is a freedom, you have freedom as a right. When you have freedom as a right, you have a duty not to violate others' freedom. You have a right to freedom. In the process, you should not violate others' freedom. So you have a duty to protect others' freedom when you have freedom as a right. All the above. Consider the following statement. Equality necessarily means fairness. Equality necessarily means fairness. Fairness is justice. Equality is different from justice. How equality is different from justice? Only one thing is there with the help of which you can differentiate between these two concepts. Justice will take into account the past problems of you. So reservation is social justice. So justice will take into account the past of people. But equality may not respect the past, may not have past orientation. Now, having this as the differentia, read the statement. Equality is not meaning fairness, it can be different. Fairness is justice. Social justice is much more than equality. It is much more than equality. Right? Equality generally considers the past. No. Justice is about making things accessible for all by giving equal opportunities. Yes or no? Yes. So answer is what? 2 and 4. This is wrong. 2 and 4 are right. DPSP, Dr. Ambedkar called this as instruments of instruction, which is borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. It is borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. Government of India Act 1935 is giving some instruction to the Governor and Governor General from the Crown. So that only became instruments of instruction, became DPSP according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Now come to the next statement. DPSPs are being enforced by the court through directives. Yes or no? Nova. DPSPs are enforceable, are enforced by the court through directives. Right or wrong? Correct. யார் தப்புன்னு சொல்றாப்பா? when this equal pay for equal work case came before the Supreme Court, they issued a directive that this has to be given the status of fundamental rights. So, instruments of instruction means what? Constitution is directing the state. State here includes legislature and judiciary. Who is having interpretative power to interpret the constitution? Court. So court can give directive to the state. In the Shah Banu case, in John Vallamatam case, in Sarla Mudgal case, the court has told that uniform civil code will have to be enacted. It directed the government to make sure that parliament is enacting uniform civil code. So this is a correct statement. DPSPs are not enforceable through any court of law. Yes or no? Definitely yes, because of 37. As DPSP, it cannot be enforced. As DPSP, they are not enforceable in the court of law. Through DPSP, you are making a law, that law will be enforced. For example, Article 42 says maternity benefit. Maternity Benefit Act was made and that law is enforceable. But as a DPSP, it is not enforceable. Article 37 clearly says DPSPs are merely guidelines for the establishment of socialist order. All the four statements are correct. 87. State is responsible for administration and enforcing law. Is state responsible for administration and enforcing law? Government. I am asking government and state, which means that we are asking a distinction or not. So read the question. The question is telling you it is both state and government, means it is a comparison question where you have to make distinction will have to be made. You have to distinguish it. State is responsible for administering. No, government. State refers more than government. Yes. Government and state cannot be interchangeably used. Yes. Government refers to a political institution. Fourth is not given. Government refers to political institution that represents sovereign people who occupy a definite territory. Answer is government means what? This is state, no. 2 and 3. Not government. It is state. State is only having territory, sovereignty. So 1 should not come, 4 should not come, 2 and 3. Fundamental rights has often been referred as the conscience of the Constitution. Constitution guarantees rights of the individual against the state as well as against other individuals. An individual is practicing untouchability, that individual also can be challenged in the court of law. So not only against the state you can enforce fundamental right, even under 15 clause 2, under article 17, you can enforce the fundamental rights against the other individual who is violating your fundamental right. So both these statements are correct statements. 89. Which section of the Constitution serves as a guide to independent state to institute law and policy to help reduce poverty? DPSP. Why it is important to separate religion from the state? To protect minority against the tyranny of the majority, to protect minority against the state, to protect freedom of individual to exit from their religion and embrace new religion, to have the freedom to interpret religious teaching differently. What is the problem? All are correct only. So answer is printing error. None of the above should come now. Not should not come. What is the answer? All the four are correct. No. Which among the following provides a standard to examine and evaluate any law to find out whether it is good or bad? That is the legal interpretation of constitution. It helps in the legal interpretation of constitution. So it is an yardstick to find out whether some law is good or bad. Preamble should be used. Judicial review. Standard criteria which will be used for judicial review is preamble only. Using preamble as a yardstick only, judicially will do review. Judicial review is not the yardstick. Standard is preamble. With the help of that, judicial review will be done. So answer is preamble. DPSP. So you mean to say that DPSP is a standard? Then you can also say fundamental right should be a standard. Rendu sendadudhaan preamble. Preamble is nothing but what? Fundamental right and DPSP. So this answer is inclusive, which is why it includes both. Because if you say DPSP, you should say fundamental right also. Both will have to be present, and that is what is preamble. The court itself has told that preamble is not judicially enforceable. Preamble is not the source of power. But the best part of preamble is that it helps in the judicial interpretation of the constitution. It is a standard which we can use to interpret the constitution. So it is a standard for judicial review. That is what is the statement given by judiciary in the judgment. So preamble is the answer. Available for any person, consulting lawyer, Article 22, freedom of demonstration, 19, right to migration, freedom of movement, 19. Answer is what? 19 is available only to citizen, not to foreigner. Therefore, any person is what is the question, and one only is the answer. Minority does not mean only religious minority. Yes or no? Right to conserve language is a fundamental right. Yes or no? 22, 29, Article 29. Freedom to oppose central values of constitution is not available to a citizen. Yes or no? A citizen cannot criticize the central values of the constitution. Is it so? He can criticize the constitution. It is available. Even constitution can be criticized. Even constitution can be criticized. That is why Kesavananda Bharati case came. Kesavananda Bharati case came because of that only. Constitution was criticized. And now a big court having how many judges? 13 judges sat and they reviewed the constitution fully, and that is a very big landmark case, Kesavananda Bharati, milestone. Criticizing is a right. Minorities have right to establish. Answer is 94. Fulfill certain aspirations of the people. Aspiration of the people. Preamble, DPSP, fundamental right, all the above. Which among the following was not explicitly mentioned in the objective resolution? Not mentioned in OR. This is not mentioned, this is not, sorry, this is mentioned, this is mentioned, this is not mentioned, this is not mentioned. 1 and 2. Not mentioned, 3 and 4. Right to residence and right to movement is not mentioned in the objective resolution, whereas occasion and association mentioned. Reason for supremacy of the constitution other than parliament, than that of parliament. Why constitution is supreme than the parliament? Constitution ensures that good people come to power, yes or no? Hmm? Where it is written, good people only will come to power. Yeah. Constitution is higher than that of parliament because it was framed before the parliament came. Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Constitution is supreme as the constitution makers were more eminent than member of parliament. Only one reason why constitution is supreme, because parliament is the creation and constitution is the creator. That's all. Only for this purpose that constitution is supreme than the parliament. That constitution is the creator and parliament is the creation. That is the only reason. Because of that, constitution is supreme than parliament. So these are wrong, which is not the reason. All the three are not reasons. What liberty means? Opportunity to develop oneself fully. Definitely yes. Freedom to do anything. Every person will enjoy her freedom without engendering the freedom of others. Without? Correct statement or wrong statement? How many of you say wrong? How many of you say wrong? Correct? What is the meaning of engendering? Engendering means promoting. Endangering means threatening. Every person will enjoy her freedom without promoting the freedom of others is wrong or right? Every person will enjoy her freedom without threatening the law and order is right or wrong? Then what is right? 1 and 4. Your negative means that I have certain restrictions. Positive means that I have no obstacles at all. Okay. Who gave this concept of negative positive? John Stuart Mill. Where it is written? 11th NCERT, 12th NCERT, 12th NCERT. Clear tension. So, clear is a word which you have to give importance to. Definitely there is a tension between these two. This is liberty and this is against liberty. So there is a clear-cut tension. Freedom and equality, is it clear-cut tension? Opposites? No. Equality and preventive detention, is it clear-cut tension? No. Religion and preventive detention, it is clear-cut tension? One only. Clear-cut tension. Equality versus detention, கண்டிப்பா கான்ஃபிளிக்டா? பாசிபிலிட்டி ஆஃப் கான்ஃபிளிக்ட பத்தி கேட்கல. 100% ரெண்டும் சேராது. They are opposites of each other. 100% they are enemies of each other. எது இதுல நாலுல என்ன வரும்? That is why we have used the term clear. One only. Then what? Freedom of religion includes persuading people to convert from one religion. Yes or no? Definitely no. Definitely yes. Coercion is wrong. Persuasion is right. I cannot compel anyone, but I can persuade. Persuade means convincing is different from forced. Convincing means you also accept my ideas and you come to my religion. Force means I'm bribing you, I'm threatening you. That is only will be wrong. Forced conversion is unlawful, unconstitutional. But persuading is highly acceptable. So this will be there. Freedom includes right to spread information about one's religion and attract others. If second statement is right, you have made second right or wrong? Second is also wrong for you. Correct. Since second is correct, first should be correct. Freedom of religion includes that government restrictions cannot be opposed in the name of interference in the right of freedom of religion. Yes. Article 25, clause 1, clause 2. What article 25 says? It says the state can intervene in the affairs of religion. State can throw open Hindu temples of public character to all sections of Hindus. So interference is possible, and that is what is our secularism. So answer is what? 1, 2 and 3. Presidential election, because of July 18 election, we have asked the question, nomination paper of a candidate for the election has to be made in the prescribed form and subscribed by at least 50 electors as proposers and 50 as seconders. Correct. According to constitution, the Secretary General Lok Sabha or Secretary General of Rajya Sabha will be the returning officer by rotation. In this election, it is Rajya Sabha Secretary General who was the returning officer. In the recent election, Rajya Sabha Secretary General was the returning officer. So is it correct statement or wrong statement? According to the 1952 Act, Presidential and Vice President Election Act, it is the Secretary General, not according to Constitution. According to the Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Act, not according to the Act, I'm sorry, according to the Convention, Convention. Not according to the Act, Convention. According to the Convention, rotation. Not according to law, not according to Constitution. The notification calling election to the office shall be issued by the Election Commission on any day within the period of 60 days before the expiry of the term. What is your answer for this? So here where only we have the provision Section 4 of 1952 Act says this. Section 4 of 1962 Act is saying this third part. Second is wrong because it is convention, and first is right. So 1 and 3, two statements are correct. Right? So we have done the polity part from Article 1 to Article 78. 1 to 78 is the syllabus, plus 368. These two things are there in the syllabus. We have done this. So what is the learning which we have got? The most important learning according to me is that you have to read the concept as a concept. Don't confuse the concept with what is practiced. Concept is concept. Don't confuse the concept with the practice, because concept is theory, practice is maybe opposite to theory sometimes. Number 2, you just have to read the question fully. Without reading the question fully, if you come to an answer, then definitely you are wrong. Complete the question. Thirdly, use a criteria which will be intelligible criteria, understandable criteria, to exclude the answer, not to include the answer. Fourth, if a statement is general statement, you try to answer in a general way. If the question is specific question, answer in a specific way. Don't make this general statement or general question is answered specifically and specific question is answered generally. Right? So these are the 4 important lessons which we have learned in today's test discussion. Manikandan sir will be taking up the current affairs portion from 1 to 25. So stay, he will be coming, he will be doing the current affairs part. I told you that the test is nothing but learning. It is about how you are able to think, and we are there to channelize your thought process. The strategy which we are giving to you may ensure that more number of right answers may be selected by you. So increasing the probability of being right is what is the purpose of the test batch. You have to think, you have to verbally come out with your answer. Then only I can understand where is your problem. Right? So like for example, preamble வந்துச்சுனா இது வரும், டிபிஎஸ்பி மட்டும் வராது, preamble சேர்ந்து வரும். இந்த மாதிரி you have to keep thinking. Engendering வேற, endangering வேற, right, duty சில சமயம் வேற மாதிரி இருக்குது, சில சமயம் ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்குது. அப்ப எந்த இடத்துல வேற மாதிரி, that you have to do only, learn only by practice. All the best. Thank you.
No, sounds like good morning. Okay, shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anyway, I know how difficult it would have been for you. You've been sitting here since 2 p.m. in the afternoon, right? So it's more difficult for me. More than letting you discuss this question, I have to keep you awake. I don't know how it's going to happen. We'll see. எல்லாம் தூங்கிடுவாங்க கொஞ்சம் விட்டா. I know it's too difficult to sit from 2 p.m. until now. Yeah. Sorry. ரொம்ப கஷ்டம்ப்பா. Yeah. Okay, I'll finish it as soon as possible and I'll try to make it as interesting as possible as well. Okay. See, what I did was how I attended this. Before you attended these questions, I got the questions and I attended the test. So why I did this was, see, for current affairs, one important thing that we need is sometimes, most probably, we will not get what we have learned. So it will be something different. So we'll have to somehow try and guess the answer. Sometimes guesswork also will work out. And we guess two types. How? One is intelligent guess. We know the details, somehow we try to arrive at the answer. Second one, a wild guess. So we'll try for some wild guess as well. So I tried certain wild guess as well. So wherever I got correct with those wild guesses, I'll tell those details, how I tried to guess it. So maybe in your exam it will be easier for you. Okay. And one more thing about this test. See here, this, I think this is the new approach we have tried here, an integrated approach. I hope you have heard about it. So why we designed it, or how we actually designed it, is, the truth is we did not design it. How we created this approach was from the reviews we got from students for a very long time. So for the past 1 or 2 years, everyone's problem was, see, we cannot manage the time. We have prelims test, in 2 days we have the mains test, after 2 days again we have the optional test. We start studying for prelims, before we finish it we have to study for mains, so we end up studying nothing. So that is why we tried this approach. That is, you study one portion, with that one portion you attend prelims test and mains test, so you'll have ample amount of time to revise multiple times. So this will really help you clear the exam. So maybe they'll be giving you a small paper to write your review. Just tell if this worked out for you. Okay, and we'll see. And whatever it is, any reviews you have, any other suggestions you have, try to give it. Yeah, come on. So first question, consider the following statements about rice fish farming. இது நம்ம ஜியோகிராஃபியில் என்னன்னு சொல்லி படிச்சிருந்திருப்போம். என்ன ஐடியா? மிக்ஸ்டு ஃபார்மிங் சொல்லி படிச்சிருப்போம்ல, அதுதான், வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. இது வந்துட்டு சவுத் ஈஸ்டர்ன் கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸ். இந்தியாவில் அஸ்ஸாமில் இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணுவாங்க. நம்ம கிளாஸ்ல கூட இதை பற்றி பேசியிருந்திருப்போம். என்னது, யூ ஹாவ் அ ரைஸ் பேடி ஃபீல்ட், இன் தட் யூ வில் ஹாவ் ஃபிஷஸ், and on that you will have some cages and you will be breeding some birds as well. So this happens as a cycle. Same thing but then pesa try pandranga. We'll see. It is a zero input system which does not require fertilizers, which is rather provided by the aquatic animals. See, this the problem here is zero. So most probably it's not going to be zero. Definitely it would reduce the amount of fertilizers, because see here, over soil over martha irukapodhu. Certain soils might need some little bit of fertilizer sometimes. Okay, so we cannot say it's going to be zero. So zero is the clue there. So definitely one is going to be wrong. So what about second one? One of the major drawbacks in the system is higher methane emission. This sometimes you can try and guess it. See here, we are trying something like mixed farming, eco-friendly ஏதோ ஒன்று பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணுறோம். ரைஸ் ஃபீல்ட், அப்புறம் இந்த மாடு வளர்க்குறது, இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள்ல பிரச்சனை ஒன்று என்னது, இட் எமிட்ஸ் மீத்தேன். ஸோ நம்ம வந்து சம்திங் ஈகோ ஃப்ரெண்ட்லியாக ட்ரை பண்ணும்போது நம்ம எப்படியாவது வந்து மீத்தேன் எமிஷன் குறைக்க தான் ட்ரை பண்ண போகிறோம். கண்டிப்பாக இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ட்ரை பண்ண மாட்டோம். யூ கேன் ஜஸ்ட் கெஸ் இட் ஹியர். டெஃபினெட்லி இட் வில் நாட் இன்க்ரீஸ் மீத்தேன், இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு டிக்ரீஸ் மீத்தேன் எமிஷன்ஸ். ஓகே, அண்ட் சி ஒன் மோர் திங் ஹியர். இது எப்படி நடக்கும்னு தெரியாட்டி கூட நான் நடக்கும்ன்றது உங்களால் கெஸ் பண்ணிட முடியும். ரைஸ் இஸ் எமிட்டிங் மீத்தேன். Now you are introducing some more species there. The more species present in one ecosystem, there is more biodiversity. There is more biodiversity, it is more eco-friendly. ரொம்ப நார்மலான என்விரான்மெண்ட் சப்ஜெக்ட்ல வச்சு கூட நீங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ணிடலாம். தேர்ட் பாயிண்ட் வில் சி. இட் இஸ் ஒன் ஆஃப் த குளோபலி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் ஹெரிடேஜ் சிஸ்டம்ஸ் அக்கார்டிங் டு FAO. தெரிஞ்சிருக்க வாய்ப்பு இல்லை, நம்ம ரொம்ப படிச்சிருந்தா மட்டும் தான் தெரியும். ஆனா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 2 points we can guess it. அப்ப only option is 3, so we have to go for 3. What happened? Okay, so we go for B only. Next one. Okay, some of the explanation here. Yes, it is a globally important agricultural heritage system and it is accorded by FAO. Okay, and here some amount of little pesticide is needed, but it is very little. That is one more thing. And here in Bangladesh, this method has been used, and in Bangladesh the net income return from this type of agriculture, rice and fish agriculture, was 50%. 50% அப்படியே வந்து இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆயிருந்திருக்கு. ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் மோர் திங். அண்ட் ஹியர் இட் இஸ் நாட் ஜஸ்ட் ஃபிஷ், சம்டைம்ஸ் லைக் கிராப், அப்புறமேல்ட்டு இந்த ப்ரான், டக்கெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. Whether we are doing it somewhere in Tamil Nadu? Yeah, anywhere? If you go to this Salem Mettur area, அங்க இந்த ஹைவேஸ்லாம் போனீங்கன்னா வழியில வாத்துக்கறின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு போர்டு போட்டிருப்பாங்க, ஃப்ரை பண்ணி சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருப்பாங்க. அது என்ன காரணம், அங்க ஏன் அவ்வளவு வாத்துக்கறி கிடைக்குதுன்னா, அது வந்து ரைஸ் க்ரோயிங் ஏரியான்னு நம்மளுக்கு தெரியும். ரைஸ் வளர்க்கும் போதே கூடவே அங்க வாத்தும் வளர்ப்பாங்க. அப்ப அந்த வாத்து என்ன பண்ணுதுன்னு சொன்னா, அங்க இருக்கிற பெஸ்ட் அதை பூச்சை சாப்பிடவும் செய்யும். அதே நேரத்தில் எக்ஸ்கிரீஷன் ஆஃப் these ducks will help in fertilizers as well. அதனால தான் அந்த ஏரியாஸ் ஆல்ரெடி இருக்கு. In Tamil Nadu also this is an archaic method. Thousands of years we have been using this method. ஆனா அது ப்ராப்பரா ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷனலா இன்னும் கொண்டுட்டு வரல. தட்ஸ் ஆல். இந்தியாலயும் நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டுல கூட அதை பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கிறோம். ஓகே, yeah. And how, say, now we'll see the method how methane is reduced here. இது என்னன்னா, most of the animals used here, the சின்ன fishes, crab, இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா they are bottom dwellers. மண்ணுக்கு அடியில அந்த ஏரியால போய் அங்கே தான் சாப்பாடு தேடும். அப்படி சாப்பிடும் தேடும் போது என்ன பண்ணுன்னா, it tills the soil. மண்ணை வந்து நோண்டி விட்டுரும். மண்ணை நோண்டி விடும்போது என்ன பண்ணுதுன்னா, soil acts as a methane sequestrator. நம்ம கார்பன் சீக்வஸ்ட்ரேஷன் சொல்லுவோம்ல, காடு அப்புறம் இந்த சீக்ராஸ் எல்லாம் கார்பனை பிடிச்சி வச்சுக்கணும். இப்போ மண்ணு கொஞ்சம் மீத்தேன் என்ன பண்ணுது, உள்ளார பிடிச்சி வச்சுக்குது, மீத்தேன் எமிட் ஆகுறது வெளியில. ஸோ இந்த மெத்தட் மூலியமா அப்போ காரணம் என்னன்னு சொன்னா, fish or methane does not eat up that fish or crab does not eat up that methane. What is actually happening, they till the bottom soil will absorb the methane. That is why methane is reduced here. Okay, and one more thing, extra information is this type of agriculture, it increases the oxygen content in the water. Dissolved oxygen here is increased. Because dissolved oxygen is increased, the degradation process normally happening in that ecosystem, it becomes aerobic from anaerobic. Normally in a paddy field, degradation will be anaerobic. Here it becomes aerobic. அதாவது oxygen use பண்ற degradation method மாறுது. எதனால? Lot of oxygen is created there because of this ecosystem. Okay, இந்த animals எல்லாம் இருக்கிறனால. Okay, yeah. And one more thing, how much methane? 34.6% of methane emission is reduced here because of in this method. Okay, now we'll go to the next question. Consider the following statements about agri land. Oh, okay, fine. Yes. See here, second one, consider the following statements about agri land price index. So index is a ranking, we know. So they are going to try and tell about the price. அப்ப எதோடது? agricultural land. விவசாய நிலங்களுக்கு ரேட் எவ்வளவு இருக்குன்றது ஒரு இண்டெக்ஸ் போடுறாங்க, ரேங்கிங் போட்டிருக்கிறாங்க, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் செகண்ட் தேர்டுன்னு. இது புரியுது நம்மளுக்கு. இட் இஸ் பப்ளிஷ்ட் பை இனியலி வி டோன்ட் நோ பை நிதி ஆயோக். ப்ராபப்ளி நித்தி ஆயோக் இருக்க சான்ஸ் இல்லை. ஏன்னா நித்தி ஆயோக் வந்து ஸ்டேட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டேட் எதுல பெஸ்டா இருக்கிறாங்க, கவர்னன்ஸ்ல இந்த மாதிரி விஷயம் தான் போட போறாங்க. லேண்ட் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட வெரி லிட்டில் சான்சஸ். யூ கேன் ட்ரை அண்ட் கெஸ் ஹியர். செகண்ட் ஒன், கர்நாடகா ஹேஸ் த மோஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பென்சிவ் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் லேண்ட், followed by next one Telangana. This is data we have to know. And when I conducted this catalyst class, the same thing I spoke. If you have listened to that class also, you could answer this. So answer is B2 only. So who is actually doing this? It is IIM Ahmedabad, along with an organization called as S-Farm. They are doing this. So what is this S-Farm? It is an e-marketplace for agricultural land. இந்த சம்டைம்ஸ் இதுவே ஒரு கொஸ்டினா வரல. இட் இஸ் அன் இ மார்க்கெட் பிளேஸ் ஃபார் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் லேண்ட். நம்மளுக்கு வேற என்ன இ மார்க்கெட் பிளேஸ் தெரியும் ஜென்ரலா? நம்ம நார்மலா கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸ் GEM, கவர்மெண்ட் இ மார்க்கெட் பிளேஸ்னு ஒன்று படிப்போம்ல. ஸோ அது மாதிரி இது வந்து அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் லேண்டுக்குன்னே சொல்லி ஒரு இ மார்க்கெட் பிளேஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் அ ப்ரிலூட். இது ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ட்ரைலர் மாதிரி தான். மெயின் பிக்சர் என்னவாமா, இந்தியா மொத்தத்துக்கும் சேர்த்து இந்த இண்டெக்ஸ் போட போறாங்க. நவ் இட் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ஃபார் சவுத் இந்தியா. நெக்ஸ்ட் இயர் கோயிங் டு மேக் இட் ஃபார் என்டையர் இந்தியா. ஓகே, ஸோ அந்த லிஸ்ட்ல தான் நம்ம பார்த்தது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இட் இஸ் கர்நாடகா, தென் இட் இஸ் தெலுங்கானா, தென் கம்ஸ் தமிழ்நாடு இன் திஸ் பிரைஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் ஹவு டு தே மேக் திஸ் ரேங்கிங்? ஸோ வாட் ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் தே ஆர் யூசிங்? த ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் இன்க்ளூட் irrigation facilities, distance from airport. These are the main two things. Okay, so based on these two important factors, they are designing this ranking. So Karnataka first, then Telangana. Okay, now we'll go to the next question. See here, nixtamalization, recently seen in the news, is related to, when I attended this question, நிஜமா சொல்றேன் எனக்கு தெரியல. ஓகே, இந்த மாதிரி வார்த்தை கேள்விப்பட்டு எனக்கு ஞாபகம் இல்லை. படிக்கல போல இருக்கு ஒழுங்கா. ஓகே, படிச்சிருந்தா தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும், படிக்காதனால எனக்கும் தெரியல. ஸோ வாட் டு டூ நெக்ஸ்ட்? Somehow try to guess and arrive at the answer. We'll see what and all we have here. Cutting edge battery technology using nickel polymers. Okay, something battery technology, it's a new technology. Technique of maize fortification, process of multiple data entry in blockchain model, tree transplantation technique. See here, இந்த சேஷன் அப்படின்ற வார்த்தை நம்ம நார்மலா சின்ன கிளாஸ் ஸ்கூல்ல சயின்ஸ்ல எல்லாம் படிக்கும்போது இந்த வேர்டு என்ன வரும்? ஆடிங் சம்திங், டூ, இதை ஒன்று சேர்க்கிறது தான் இந்த சேஷன்ன்ற வேர்டு மோஸ்ட்லி நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணி வந்திருப்போம். இங்க பாருங்க, இதுல ஆல் ஏ இஸ் பேட்டரி டெக்னாலஜி, சி இட் இஸ் அ மெத்தட் ஆஃப் என்ட்ரிங் டேட்டா, அகெயின் அ டெக்னிக், தேர்ட் ஒன் டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்டேஷன் டெக்னிக். இங்க ஏதோ ஒன்று ஆட் பண்ற மாதிரி, ஏதோ ஒன்று சேர்க்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கிற ஒண்ணு டெக்னிக் ஆஃப் மெய்ஸ் ஃபோர்டிஃபிகேஷன். ஸோ தட் இஸ் வை I actually chose B as an answer with a wild guess. Luckily it was correct as well. Okay, so try இந்த மாதிரி மெத்தட்ஸ் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா கத்து வச்சுக்கோங்க, வேற வழி இல்ல. நான் வந்து 80 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இப்போ அட்டன் பண்ண 85 அட்டன் பண்ணும், ஒரு 79ல வந்து நின்னுட்டேன். I can't leave my paper and get out of the prelims hall. Let me guess அப்படின்னு சொல்ல மாதிரி அந்த நிமிஷம் வரும்போது you can use these techniques. Okay, fourth one, consider the following pairs. Okay, this one. Chaliha Sahib, Kheer Bhavani Mela, Nandi Devi, Raj Yatra, Jat Raj Yatra. Okay, so among this, which one is உங்க கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர்ல என்ன பிரிண்ட் ஆயிருக்கு? இட் இஸ் நந்தி ராஜ்னா இருக்கு, இல்ல இல்ல நந்தா தேவி தான இருக்கு. Yeah, it's actually that is right, this is wrong. Nanda Devi is right, we changed it yesterday. Nanda Devi, have you heard about this word anywhere? Nanda Devi பீக், உத்தரகண்ட்ல இருக்கிற பீக். அப்ப டெஃபினெட்லி this one is it has to be somewhere in Uttarakhand. What are they asking? Right pair and wrong pair. Okay, அப்ப 3 gone. So either it should be this one or it should be this one. Oh no, correct pair வேற ஒன்னு இருக்கு. Okay, what else we have? Kheer Bhavani Mela and Chaliha Sahib Festival. Okay, see, I guessed this could be right. இது மட்டும் கரெக்ட்னு I guessed it. Okay, you know how I guessed it? இந்த கீர் எங்க பார்த்திருக்கோம்? எங்க பாதாம் கீர் இல்ல, இந்த இல்ல ஆக்சுவலா இல்ல, நான் அப்படிதான் ஆன்சர் கண்டுபிடிச்சேன் உண்மையில வந்து. ஆனா எனக்கு பாதாம் கீர் ஞாபகம் வேற ஒன்று ஞாபகம் வந்துச்சு. நம்ம எந்த கல்யாணத்தை மிஸ் பண்ணாலும் முஸ்லீம் வீட்டு கல்யாணத்தை மிஸ் பண்ணவே மாட்டோம், பத்திரிக்கை கொடுக்காட்டி கூட போயிடுவோம். என்ன அதுக்கு? பிரியாணி கிடைக்கணும். மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த முஸ்லீம் கல்யாணத்துல பாத்தீங்கன்னா பிரியாணி இருங்க, கூட கடைசியில வந்து ஒரு ஸ்வீட் கொடுப்பாங்க, இந்த கீர்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு ஸ்வீட் கொடுப்பாங்க, ரைஸ் பாயாசம் மாதிரி ஒன்று கொடுப்பாங்க. நிறைய பேர் ரொம்ப பிடிச்சதும் கூட. ஆக்சுவலா இது ஹிந்து ஃபெஸ்டிவல், அது பின்னாடி எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் படிச்சோன்னு எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு. ஆனா நான் எப்படி கெஸ் பண்ணேன்னா கீர்னு போட்டிருக்கு, முஸ்லீம் ஃபெஸ்டிவல் காஷ்மீர்னு போட்டிருக்கு, அப்ப கரெக்டா தான் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கரெக்ட் படிச்சிருந்தேன். Answer was right actually somehow. Okay, but actually that's not the story here. The real story is இந்த கீர் பவானின்ற மீனிங் என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நம்ம கெஸ் பண்ணது ஆக்சுவலா கரெக்ட் தான். இந்த கீர்ன்ற ஸ்வீட்டை செஞ்சு இந்த பவானின்ற ஒரு டயட்டி, ஒரு கடவுளுக்கு வந்துட்டு பிரசாதமா படைப்பாங்களாம். அதனால அந்த கோயிலுக்கு பேரு யார் பண்றாங்கன்னா காஷ்மீரி பண்டிட்ஸ். That is why the second one is correct. This one, இந்த சலிஹான்ற வேர்ட், சலிசா, சலிஹா. Oh, is it so? Where is it? Oh, Sahib. Okay, really, thank you, pa. Really good. I didn't know this. Okay, we'll note from her. Sahib means Sindhi people, it seems. So from there, so you would have definitely gone this answer directly right. So this one is right. So, but apart from this Chaliha, Chalisa, இந்த மாதிரி வேர்டு எங்க கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கோம்? இல்ல டெல்லி சுல்தானேட் படிக்கும் போது, டெல்லி சுல்தானேட்ல இல்துமிஷ்க்கு ஒரு 40 நோபல்ஸ் இருப்பாங்கன்னு சொல்லி படிச்சோம், ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? சலீசான்னு சொல்லிட்டு. இட்ஸ் ஹியர் ஆல்சோ இட் இஸ் த சேம். இட் இஸ் ஆக்சுவலி 40 days. ஓகே, சலிஹா சாஹிப் ஃபெஸ்டிவல். அப்போ 40 நாள் ஃபெஸ்டிவல். From this, when I didn't know the answer, I guessed it would be a Hindu festival. Why? Most of the Hindu festival விரதம் இருந்தாங்கன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஐயப்பனுக்கு மாலை போட்டால் 48 நாள். The fasting will be 48 days, 40 days, something like that. There will be a set of fasting, and followed that fasting there will be a festival. With that I guess I just put it அப்படின்னு சொல்லி, but that is how I chose 2 pairs. Okay, but we'll see the real explanation. Real explanation is this one Kheer Bhavani is that sweet is given அது பிரசாதமா வந்துட்டு அங்க இருக்கிற ஃபீமேல் டயட்டிக்கு கொடுக்கறனால it is called as Kheer Bhavani Mela. The temple is in Kashmir and it is mostly followed by Kashmiri Pandits. And the next one, this one is a 40-day festival observed by the Sindhi Hindu community. Okay, they started from July and they go through August as well. Okay, they go for 40 days penance, like not eating non-veg, like speaking right words. Exactly சபரிமலைக்கு மாலை போடுற அதே மெத்தட் தான் இங்கேயும். ஓகே, அண்ட் இதுல இன்னொரு விஷயம் நீங்க ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்க வேண்டியது என்னன்னா, இந்த சபரிமலைக்கு மாலை போடுற மாதிரியே இங்கேயும் நடக்கும். சபரிமலைக்கு மாலை போட்டால் ஆக்சுவலி இட் இஸ் 48 days. ஆனால் எல்லாரும் 48 days நம்ம சில குரூப் இருக்கும் என்ன பண்ணும், கடைசி 10 நாள், கடைசி 5 நாள், முதல் நாள் கடைசி நாள் மட்டும் இருந்துட்டு சும்மா அந்த லாஸ்ட் நாள் மட்டும் இருந்தா போதும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு போனோம். இங்கேயும் அதே இருக்கும் இந்த ஃபெஸ்டிவல்ல. தீஸ் ஆர் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டீடைல்ஸ், நோ இட். Some people what they do, first and the end day alone they will do the penance, and some people they'll do for first 9 days, some people 21 days. நம்மளும் இதே காரியத்தை பண்ணுவாங்க, பார்த்துருக்கீங்கல்ல? இந்த ஒரு நாள் இருக்குது, 20 நாள் இருக்கிறது, பாதி 9 நாள் இருக்குதுன்னு. சபரிமலை ஃபெஸ்டிவலும் இந்த சலிஹா சாயும் இட்ஸ் எக்ஸாக்ட்லி த சேம். ஸோ ஜஸ்ட் ரிமெம்பர் Chaliha, which means 40. So if at all you are going to get somewhere in the exam, you can remember it as a clue. Okay, and what about this one, Nanda Devi Jat Yatra? Which state it could be in? Uttarakhand, definitely Uttarakhand. Okay, apart from Uttarakhand, it is exactly எங்கன்னு சொல்லி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா Chamoli district. Which people? Garhwali people. This one is, why we say Garhwali people? இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம ஜியாகிரபியில ஹிமாலயஸ் படிக்கும் போது வெர்டிக்கலா வந்து ஹிமாலயஸை பிரிப்போம், ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? குமாவோன் ஹிமாலயாஸ் அந்த மாதிரி. இந்த ரீஜன் வந்து கார்வால் ஹிமாலயாஸ்ன்னு சொல்லி படிச்சிருப்போம். உத்தரகண்ட் ரீஜன் கார்வால் ஹிமாலயாஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். அதுக்கு ஏன் கார்வால் ஹிமாலயாஸ்ன்னு பேர்னா, பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தீஸ் ட்ரைபல் பீப்புள் கால்ட் அஸ் கார்வாலி ட்ரைப்ஸ் லிவிங் தேர். ஓகே, அண்ட் வாட் அபவுட் கான்ஸ் தென்? இதுக்கு 100% நீங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ணியே ஆயிரணும். எந்த ரீஜனை இருக்கலாம்? ஆந்திரா, சத்தீஸ்கர், மத்திய பிரதேஷ், தட் என்டையர் ரீஜன். நம்ம இது வரைக்குமே வாழ்க்கையில படிக்காட்டி கூட எப்படி இதை கண்டுபிடிச்சிடலாம்? RRR படத்துல பேசியிருப்பாங்க, நான் கோண்டு ஜாதியை சேர்ந்தவன் அப்படி சொல்லிட்டு. தெலுங்கானா, மகாராஷ்டிரா, ஆந்திர பிரதேஷ், சத்தீஸ்கர் அந்த ரீஜன்ல ஃபுல்லா இருக்கிறவங்க தான் கான்ஸ். ஓகே, அண்ட் தே ஆர் ஆல்சோ கால்ட் அஸ் காண்டி அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கூட அவங்களுக்கு இன்னொரு பேர் இருக்கு. ஓகே, இன்னொரு நேம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா கொய்டூர், KOITUR. தீஸ் ஆர் அதர் நேம்ஸ் ஆஃப் காண்ட் ட்ரைப்ஸ். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன், consider the following about government e-marketplace platform, GEM. So one, it is set up by amalgamating all the existing government procurement portals. Just try and guess, could it be or could it not be? Yes or no கேக்கல, இருக்கலாமா இருக்க முடியாதா? அதாவது கவர்மெண்ட் ப்ரொக்யூர்மெண்ட் பண்ற எல்லா பொருளையும் ஒன்னா சேர்த்து அந்த போர்ட்டல் கிரியேட் பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு சொல்லி. It is not possible. Why? GEM ன்றது புதுசு. கவர்மெண்ட்லாம் வந்துட்டு ஒரு விஷயத்தை அப்படியே எடுத்து உடனடியாக அப்படி விஷனரி அப்படி யோசிச்சு அப்படி பயங்கரமா செய்யறதுக்குலாம் வாய்ப்பே இல்லை. அதில் டெக்கேட்ஸ் ஆகும். இங்க வந்துட்டு எந்த ப்ரொக்யூர்மெண்ட் பண்ற என்னென்ன ப்ரொக்யூர்மெண்ட் நமக்கு தெரியும்? ப்ரொக்யூர்மெண்ட்ன்ற வேர்டு எங்கெல்லாம் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கோம்? டிஃபென்ஸ் ப்ரொக்யூர்மெண்ட் அடிக்கடி நியூஸ்ல வரும்ல. டிஃபென்ஸ் ப்ரொக்யூர்மெண்ட் ஆல்ரெடி இருக்கு. இந்த மாதிரி so many procurements are there. Each one has their own portal. Will they immediately allow everything to be amalgamated to create a single portal? Very difficult. So அதை வச்சே சொல்லிக்கலாம், நம்மளுக்கு ஒன் வந்து there is no chance. We can try and guess it. Second one, both government and private can be eligible sellers in the platform. Yes or no? Buyers only government. It is for government to buy, but here the question is sellers. If only government institutions can sell, where will they get the product from? How many government institutions do we have? Now, if let us say they are going to build a government building. Yeah, there the question is, both government and private can be eligible sellers. Only they are asking about sellers. The question is about sellers. Let us say they are going to build a new government building. Municipal office கட்ட போறாங்கன்னு வெச்சுப்போம். சிமெண்ட் வாங்கணும். கவர்மெண்ட் எத்தனை கவர்மெண்ட் ஃபேக்டரி இருக்கு சிமெண்ட் விக்கிற ஃபேக்டரி? There's no way. எத்தனை ஆணி விக்கிற ஃபேக்டரி இருக்கு? இல்ல. You need private sellers also, definitely. No, there has to be private sellers. But buyers, this GEM is only for government. And why did they bring this GEM? Reason? To bring in transparency. முடிஞ்ச வரை கரப்ஷன் குறைக்கிறதுக்காக. Why? So if I am a government official, I am interested with the job of let us say the same thing, building an office. அப்ப நான் என்ன பண்ண பார்ப்பேன்? யார்கிட்ட இருந்து சிமெண்ட் வாங்குவேன்? தெரிஞ்சவங்ககிட்ட இருந்து. யார்கிட்ட எனக்கு நிறைய பணம் கிடைக்குதோ என் தம்பிட்டு இருந்து என் மச்சான் இருந்து ஒன்று வீட்டை சித்தப்பட்டு இருந்து எல்லாத்துலேருந்து வாங்குவேன். ஏன்னு சொன்னா என் குடும்பத்துக்கு வருமானத்தை பார்க்க பார்ப்பேன். இல்லைன்னு சொன்னா யார் எனக்கு அதிக பணம் கொடுக்கணும் அவங்கள்ட்ட பணம் நடப்பேன். பட் ஹியர் தே ஆர் மேக்கிங் இட் ஓப்பன். ஸோ ஜிஎம்ட்டு ஒரு போர்ட்டல் வச்சு sellers will be there and they will do like a bidding. So in that bidding, who gives the lowest price, they have to buy from them, and it is open and transparent. So that is why they are trying to bring it for transparency. Main reason is this. And the first point on explanation, there are multiple portals in central government department alone. State vitrunga, central la mattume there are multiple portals. Same example, defense procurement portal, Indian railways e-procurement system. So many are there. All these cannot be brought in together immediately. It's not very easy. And this one, why it is difficult? See here, central organizations to comply with rule 149 of the general financial rules 2017. So there is a rule like this. The rule enna solludhu, you have to buy it from the GEM. It's not very easy. All the government organizations are not ready to comply with this. That is also another reason. Okay, explanation we'll give it to you. You don't have to write it down anyway. We'll go to the next question. Answer two only. Two only. Okay, and see here, when after you finish the test, when I asked some of the students, they said the question was really tough. ரொம்ப கொடுமையா இருந்துச்சு question. இப்போ எல்லாரும் சொன்னாங்க இப்படிதான் யூபிஎஸ்சி முடிச்சோன்னே எல்லாத்தையும் யூபிஎஸ்சி திட்டினாங்க. மனுஷனாடா இவன் இப்படி கொஸ்டின் எடுத்து வச்சிருக்கான்னு. யூ ஸ்கோல்ட் அஸ், மனுஷனாடா இவன் இப்படி கொஸ்டின் எடுத்து வச்சிருக்கான்னு. இட்ஸ் ஓகே, யூபிஎஸ்சி போய் ஸ்கோல் பண்ண வேணான்றது இங்கே அதை பண்ணிடுறோம். யூ ஃபைண்ட் இட் டிஃபிகல்ட் ஹியர். யூ சி ஹவு டெஃபினெட்லி யூபிஎஸ்சி இஸ் கோயிங் டு ஆஸ்க் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஈவன் மோர் டிஃபிகல்ட் தேன் திஸ். கெட் யூஸ்ட் டு இட். Okay, practice it so that you don't face it there. Yeah, questions will be tough. It has to be tough. If question is very easy, எழுதிட்டு நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மார்க் வாங்கிட்டு இங்கே வாங்கி ஒரு பிரயோஜனம் இல்லைல்ல. You face it here so that in UPSC it will be difficult. It will be easier for you. Next one. Yeah, with reference to safety of Aadhaar, which of the following statements are correct? First one, the Aadhaar Act allows sharing core biometric information for Aadhaar number generation and authentication only. Is it so? Yes. 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 ஸோ இப்போ வந்து ஆதார் நம்பரை வெரிஃபை பண்ணுறதுக்கு மட்டும்தான் யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும். வேறு எந்த இடத்துலையுமே பயோமெட்ரிக் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுக்க வேணாம். இட் வாஸ் இதை ரொம்ப ஒரு தேர் வாஸ் அன் இஷ்யூ பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ். அண்ட் ஹூ செட் திஸ்? ஹோம் மினிஸ்டர் செட் திஸ். ஸோ வாட் இஸ் த சேஃப்டி அப்படின்னு, வாட் இஸ் த இஷ்யூ ஃபார் ப்ரைவசி அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்டபோது, ஒன்லி ஃபார் ஆதார் ஆத்தென்டிகேஷன் திஸ் பயோமெட்ரிக் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வில் பி யூஸ்ட் அண்ட் ஃபார் நத்திங் எல்ஸ். நோவேர் இட் கேன் பி ஆஸ்க்ட்னு சொல்லி ஹோம் மினிஸ்டர் ஹிம்செல்ஃப் செட் திஸ். ஸோ தட் இஸ் வை இட் ஹேஸ் டு பி ரைட். செகண்ட் ஒன், யா, see here, see the question. The Aadhaar Act allows sharing core biometric information for Aadhaar number generation and authentic. Oh, okay. Aadhaar number generation.
The biometric are used also for smart card, not only for generation of Aadhaar.
நம்ம ரேஷன் கடையில் போயிட்டு விரல கை நம்ம வைக்கிறோம், அதை சொல்றீங்களா? இல்ல, நீங்க வந்துட்டு ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டு வாங்க போறீங்க இல்ல, நீங்க உங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் குடும்ப தலைவர் போகும்போது பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. அங்க போன உடனே அங்க இந்த மெஷின் ஒன்று வச்சிருப்பாங்க, விரல வைக்க சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டு நீங்க வாங்குறதுக்கு அப்ளை பண்ணும்போது விரல வைக்க சொல்லுவாங்க. வச்சு நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்கன்னு சொன்னா, உங்களுக்கு நேம் டீடைல்ஸ் எல்லாம் கொடுத்து விரல வைக்க சொல்ல முதல்ல எதுக்குன்னா, டு டேக் த டேட்டா கம்பேரிசனுக்கு இல்ல. If they are going to take the data from Aadhaar, why they ask you to they ask you to give your buying மட்டும் இல்லப்பா. அதாவது so this one we have to verify. Definitely we have to verify over this. But this information, as I know very well, because I went with my father to the when we first applied for the smart card, they asked to give the fingerprint for the first time to store it. So they are taking the biometric information for the first time only for smart card. ஆதார்ல இருந்து அவங்க டேட்டா இங்கே எடுக்கல, ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டுக்கு தனியாக அவங்க பயோமெட்ரிக் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கலெக்ட் பண்றாங்க. ஐரிஸ் எல்லாம் கலெக்ட் பண்ணவே இல்லை, ஒன்லி ஃபிங்கர் பிரிண்ட். தட் இஸ் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்லி ஃபார் ஆதார், சாரி ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டு அலோன். ஆதார்ல இருந்து எடுக்கல, தனியாக இங்கே இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வாங்கினாங்க. ஸோ அப்போ கண்டிப்பாக அவங்க எடுக்கல. வி நோ திஸ் வெரி வெல். பட் ஆஸ் யூ செட், வெதர் தே ஆர் யூசிங் திஸ் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஆர் நாட், வி மே வெரிஃபை இட். பட் ஃபார் ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டு, தே ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்லி கலெக்டட் த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன், தே ஆர் நாட் டேக்கிங் இட் ஃப்ரம் ஆதார். யா, ஸோ இது நீங்கள் உங்க ஜஸ்ட் உங்களோட ரேஷன் கார்டு உங்கள் வீட்டில் யார் பேர்ல இருக்கோ அவங்கள்ட்ட கேட்டு பாருங்க. ஸ்மார்ட் கார்டு அப்ளை பண்ணும்போது கைரேகை வந்துட்டு புதுசாக வாங்கினாங்க. ஓ அப்போ உங்களுக்கு நீங்க வச்சு
But if we process the Aadhaar link பண்ணிருக்காங்க. Already single start.
ஓகே.
Aadhaar number biometrics are used for sponsor. So only.
But here answer is one only here. We have to check it. Okay. Anyway, I'll ask. We'll verify it. We'll check this. We'll check this. Okay, some details will be there. Either this answer should be wrong or there will be some detail in it. We'll check it. Okay. Second point, the UIDAI has specified the encryption algorithm to secure the Aadhaar data vault. Anything? No, அப்படி எந்த அல்காரிதமும் சொல்லல. எந்த அல்காரிதம் யூஸ் பண்றாங்கன்னு சொல்லி வெளியே இப்போ வரைக்கும் நமக்கு தெரியவும் தெரியாது. அல்காரிதம்னு ஒன்று இருக்குதான்னு கூட தெரியாது. We don't know anything. That is the concern raised by many people. இந்த டேட்டாவை திருட முடியாதுன்றதுக்கு என்ன உத்தரவாதம் இருக்கு? எந்த அல்காரிதமும் யூஸ் பண்ணலன்னு சொல்லி கேட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்க. So definitely 2 is wrong. So according to this explanation, answer 1 only. But that the data which you told, we'll check it again. Okay. Okay, next question. Which of the following are toxic components that are hazardous to human health contained in the e-waste? So, நம்மளுக்கு ஆல்ரெடி தெரிஞ்ச நேம்ஸ் ஏதாவது? Mercury for sure we know. And the Minamata disease la varum we know. Lead, of course we know. So lead and this we know. Cadmium we know. This is an already old UPSC question. So our doubt is 4 and 5. So you have this and you have this. So we have to corner it down. Actually, answer is this one. Lithium and polychlorinated biphenyls also toxic substances found in e-waste. Yes, it is there. And we'll see some extra information. India is the 3rd largest electronic waste generator. Only 22.7% is recycled properly. Okay, this is another data. And how many such wastes are there? Here we have mentioned 5. Actually, there are 21 such e-waste. And who says how many are there? It is said by e-waste management rules 2016. Under the e-waste management rules 2016, we have 21 such e-wastes. Okay. And first, these e-waste contaminate the soil, then later they percolate in and they contaminate the groundwater. Okay. Next one. Okay, this one. Everyone will say the answer probably. Himawari 8, recently seen in news. Sorry, which one? So definitely this or this. Kandipa idu rendu illa. How? சின்சானோட தங்கச்சிப்பா. நான் நிஜமா இப்படி தான் ஆன்சர் பண்ணேன். நான் ஏதோ ஹீமாவாரி கண்டிப்பா ஜப்பான் தான். அப்ப ஹீமா ஆமா சின்சானோட தங்கச்சியாச்சே அதை வச்சு ஆன்சர் பண்ண. I got the answer. But my problem was whether it was A or B. So, but somehow I concluded it with this Japanese weather satellite. How? 8 number. நம்ம இந்த இன்சாட் 7, இன்சாட் 8 இது மாதிரி நம்பரா இருக்குன்னா கண்டிப்பா மேரிடைம் எக்ஸசைஸ்க்கு வந்து நம்பர் வைக்க மாட்டாங்க. மோஸ்ட்லி அப்படி இருக்க சான்ஸ் இல்லை. ஸோ அதை வச்சு ஐ ஜஸ்ட் கெஸ்ட் இட் குட் பி பி. ஆன்சர் இஸ் பி. ஓகே. இந்த மாதிரிலாம் கொஸ்டின் யூபிஸ்ல வந்து நல்லா தான் இருக்கும். ஆனால் வராதே, இங்கே வருது, அங்கே வர்றதில்லை. இட்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலி அ ஜாப்பனீஸ் வெதர் சேட்டலைட். ஓகே. அண்ட் இட் வாஸ் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்டட் பை யாரா இருக்கும்? நமக்கு நல்ல ஃபேமஸாக தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு 4-5 ஜப்பான் கம்பெனி பேர் சொன்னீங்கன்னா அதில் ஒன்று வந்துடும். ஒரு ஜப்பான் கார் கம்பெனி பேர் டொயோட்டா. வேற Mitsubishi. Okay, Mitsubishi have constructed this. Okay, and what this has found, actually it is a weather satellite, but what it has observed is a star called as Betelgeuse star, and it is the 2nd brightest star in the Orion constellation, and it is the 10th brightest star in the night sky. Okay, this is special about this star, and we are seeing great dimming in this star. Great dimming enadhu? Someone just guess it. What is great dimming of a star? அட சும்மா சொல்லுங்கயா, என்ன ஆயிர போகுது? ஸ்டாரோட லைட் குறைஞ்சிட்டே போகுது. லைட் குறைஞ்சிட்டே போன என்ன அர்த்தம்? சாக போகுதுன்னு அர்த்தம். That's all. The star is going to explode very soon and it will become a supernova. Sure, it will become a supernova. Then what does it mean? Supernova agna what type of star it is then? It's a giant star. It's a giant star. Okay, it will be probably a red giant star. And if I say it will not become a supernova, what does it mean? It's a small star, dwarf star, like our sun. Okay, so what is a red giant? Red giant means the last moment of a star. It's almost going to die and become a and it's going to explode. That is called as red giant. Then what is neutron star? Giant star na red giant மாறும். நம்ம சன் மாதிரி இருக்க dwarf star இருந்தா இந்த நியூட்ரான் ஸ்டாரா மாறும். நியூட்ரான் ஸ்டார் நம்ம எங்க பார்த்தோம்? நம்ம அவெஞ்சர்ஸ் படத்துல தார் போயிட்டு மறைச்சிட்டு நிப்பார்ல, அதான் நியூட்ரான் ஸ்டார். அதை வச்சு தான் அந்த சுத்தியெல்லாம் தயாரிப்பாங்க. அந்த ஸ்டார் தான் நியூட்ரான் சொல்லுவாங்களே. இட் வாஸ் மேனுஃபேக்சர்ட், திஸ் வெப்பன் வாஸ் மேனுஃபேக்சர்ட் ஃப்ரம் அ டையிங் ஸ்டார்னு சொல்லிட்டு. தட் ஸ்டார் இஸ் டையிங், தட் இஸ் வை இட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் a நியூட்ரான் ஸ்டார். இட் இஸ் a dwarf star. ஓகே, படிச்சு நான் வைக்கிறத விட இதெல்லாம் ஈஸியா நான் வச்சுக்கலாம். ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன். ரைட், வில் see. Next question. Kelinoidus fantasticus, that considered to be extinct 100 years ago, rediscovered recently, is இது லைக் இது நிறைய டைம் யூஸ்ல இருந்தாலும் ஆன்சர் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க. இட் இஸ் ஆக்சுவலி த டார்டாய்ஸ். ஓகே, see this word fantasticus, what does it mean? இது ஒரு லாட்டின் வேர்டாமா, ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக்ன்றது அர்த்தமா இதுக்கு. அதனால ஃபென்டாஸ்டிகஸ்னா இட் இஸ் வெரி ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக். அது ஒரு பயம், இது பார்க்குற ரொம்ப ஒரு வித்தியாசமான ஒரு உயிரினம் அப்படின்னால இதுக்கு ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக்னு பேர் வச்சிருக்காங்க. ஏன்னா இட் வாஸ் சீம்டு டு பி எக்ஸ்டிங், பட் இட்ஸ் நவ் இட்ஸ் ஃபவுண்ட் அகைன். வேர் இஸ் இட் ஃபவுண்ட்? இந்த கேலபகோஸ் ஐலண்ட். வேர் இஸ் தட் ஐலண்ட்? நார்த் சவுத் அமெரிக்கா, ஈக்குவடார் இருக்கும்ல, இதான் வந்து நார்த் சவுத் அமெரிக்கான்னு எடுத்துட்டோம்னு சொன்னா இந்த இடத்துல ஈக்குவடார் இருக்கும், இந்த இடத்துல இந்த ஐலண்ட் இருக்கும். ஓகே, யா, ஆமா. 100 வருஷமா அந்த இன்னும் எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் ஆச்சுன்னு நினைச்சது, ஆனா இன்னும் எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் ஆகல, நான் இருக்கேன்னு சொல்லி வந்திருக்குது அது. ஓகே, அண்ட் இட் இஸ் நேம்ட் அஸ், திஸ் tortoise has a name called Fernanda. ஓகே, அப்புறம் இந்த இது லைட்டா தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கோங்க. இந்த கெலோனாய்டஸ் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா இட் இஸ் த ஜீனஸ் நேம் ஃபார் டர்ட்டில். It is a genus name for turtle. It's genus name for turtle னு சொல்றாங்க, ஆனா இது பார்த்தா tortoise இருக்கு. பட் just remember it is a genus name for turtle. Family tortoise க்கு கீழ ஒரு genus இருக்கு, அந்த genusக்கு பேரு Chelonoidus. So it is a specific genus. என்ன type of genusனா those turtle or tortoise which live on land. Actually மீனிங்கே பாத்தீங்கன்னா டர்ட்டில்லாம் தண்ணியில இருக்கும், டார்டாய்ஸ்னா நிலத்துல இருக்கும். டிஃபரன்ஸே இதுதான். ஆனா இந்த ஜீனஸ்க்கு எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் என்ன கொடுக்குறாங்கன்னு சொன்னா turtle or tortoise, if it is living on land, it will be called as Chelonoidus. Okay, fantasticus ன்றது இந்த particular species க்கு கொடுக்கப்பட்டது. This is species name, this is genus name. Okay, just know it for safety. ஏன்னா இது எக்ஸாம்ல யாரும் கேட்க மாட்டாங்க, but to find the answer you can use these as clues sometimes. And IUCN status is critically endangered. Of course, extinct ன்னு சொன்னாங்க, இப்போ ஒண்ணே மிச்சம் இருக்குன்னா critically endangered தான் இருக்கணும். It is critically endangered. So 10th question, with reference to special drawing rights of IMF, which of the following statements are correct? Special drawing rights அடிக்கடி UPSC நிறைய டைம் கொஸ்டின் வந்திருக்கும், பார்த்துருப்பீங்கன்னா. First one, they can be held as part of forex reserves. Yeah, yes, they can be held. Okay, இது என்னன்னா ஒரு in IMF they'll have a small amount of money for each country, they'll give it like a quota. வேணும்னா நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். however we can use it அப்படின்றது இந்த கொஸ்டின். ஃபாரெக்ஸ் ரிசர்வ்ஸா யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், அவசர நேரத்துக்கு எடுத்து யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், அந்த மாதிரி. ஓகே, செகண்ட் ஒன், IMF members can also use this SDRs in their transaction with IMF, such as repayment of loan, payment for increasing their IMF quota. Probably, definitely. அதாவது எப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, பேங்க்ல வந்து I have a bank account, that bank has said I will give you 5,000, that 5,000 will be in your account, anytime you want you can take it and use it. In that same bank I have borrowed a loan, I have to pay 2,000. Yeah, this is my money, right? I can take it and use it at any time. I will take it and pay it as loan. I can use it. It's my money to take and use. So definitely they can use. Third one, the SDR currency basket is reviewed every 5 years. This is static data. Yes, it's every 5 years. This is news because recently, very recently, this 5-year review was done. That is why it is in news. And this review, what is the result of this review? They have set to increase the value of 2 currencies. One is dollar and yuan. These 2 currencies, they are going to increase the value. And denomination of SDR is only under dollar. Entire SDR is denominated under dollars. Okay, this also you have to know. And someday, this was an already asked UPSC question. SDR is neither claim nor currency of IMF. It is not a currency at all. because it's a basket of 5 currencies. அது வந்து IMF-க்கு தனி கரன்சி கிடையாது, இட்ஸ் a claim-ம் கிடையாது, அது வந்து ஒரு சின்ன ஆஃபர் மாதிரி, ஒரு கண்ட்ரிக்கும் ஒரு கொடுத்து வச்சிருக்காங்க, அவ்வளவுதான். ஓகே, and whether the members of IMF can sell their SDR, yes they can sell also, yes they can. இந்த மாதிரி இடத்துல தான் நம்ம விழுந்துருவோம். ஸோ இந்த டேட்டாஸ் நோட் பண்ணி வச்சுங்க, they can even sell it. Okay, yes. Okay, next one, 11th question போலாமா? What happened? Oh yeah, answer is wait a minute, yeah, D 1, 2 and 3. D 1, 2 and 3. The nitrogen vacancy center imaging technique recently seen in news is related to. Okay, we'll see the options one by one. We'll assume we don't know this question answer. We'll try to arrive at the answer somehow. First one, blockade immunotherapy for cancer, the technique to spot killer asteroids, James Webb Space Telescope, imaging microscale magnetic field variations in any sample. Now we read 4 options. We'll see the question again. It says nitrogen vacancy center imaging technique. Imaging technique வேற எங்க நம்ம கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கோம்? ECG, EEG, X-ray, இதெல்லாம் imaging தான். We don't see, when you go for ultrasound scan, you actually don't see what is inside. You cannot see it. It creates an image out of it. இப்போ நீங்க வந்துட்டு எங்க அடிப்படையில் MRI ஸ்கேன் எடுக்க சொல்றாங்கன்னா மேக்னெட்டிக் ரெசனன்ஸ் இமேஜிங், இட் கிரியேட்ஸ் an image of what it is inside. மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் வச்சு இமேஜ் தான் கிரியேட் பண்ணுது. அப்ப இதெல்லாம் என்னது? இமேஜிங் டெக்னிக்ஸ். இப்போ இந்த 4 ஆப்ஷன்ல we'll see which fits as an imaging. ஒரு போட்டோ கிரியேட் பண்ற மாதிரியோ ஒரு நெகட்டிவ் கிரியேட் பண்ற மாதிரி ஏதாவது ஒன்று இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கலாம். Something that creates image, that should be probably the answer. We'll try. Okay, blockade immunotherapy for they say it's a therapy. No image is being created. The technique to spot killer asteroids. Maybe, yes, because they are spotting something, it could be from an image. Yes, James Webb Space Telescope எதுக்கு இருக்குன்னு தெரியல, விட்டுருங்க. கொஸ்டினுக்கும் ஆன்சருக்கும் லிங்க் ஆகவே இல்லை. Imaging microscale magnetic field variations in any sample. Something is there, I'm going to create an image out of it. So answer is either B or D. அதிக ஃபிட் ஆகுது எதுவா இருக்கீங்க? D தான். D is the answer. Yes, D is the answer. Okay, so now we'll see what it is actually. So it was created by Indian Institute of Technology in Mumbai and Kharagpur. Both these have together created this. It is an image magnetic field with microscopic 2-dimensional samples. It is just a microscope at last. It is the instrument is a microscope. So how they are doing it? This microscope is a sensor with nitrogen vacancy defect center in a diamond crystal. It's too technical. They are using nitrogen. That's all. That's enough for this. Okay, it's a microscope. It is an imaging instrument. Yes, who created it? IIT Bombay and Kharagpur. Yeah, next one, 12th question. India's first liquid mirror telescope has been set up at the Devasthal Observatory campus owned by Aryabhatta Research Institute of Observational Sciences, shortly called as ARIES, in Uttarakhand. In this context, consider the following. This liquid telescope is used for tracking satellites, military purposes, observing asteroids, supernovae, space debris, and all the other celestial objects. It's very difficult to guess, but you will see the question again. India's first liquid mirror telescope. They said it is a telescope, and they are saying it is India's first. அப்ப இப்பதான் ரீசெண்ட் அது கிரியேட் ஆயிருக்கு. முதல்ல ஒரு புதுவிதமான டெலஸ்கோப். It's going to be something very special. It's going to be very powerful. If a telescope is going to be very powerful, it will track satellites. Yes, of course we can see satellites with the telescope. Military purpose, yes. எப்படி military purpose னு சொல்லலாம்? சக்தின்னு ஒரு இது நம்ம ஒரு மிசைல் தயாரிச்சு ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? To hit satellites on the orbit. Okay, so definitely we can use it for military purpose. Asteroids, supernovae, all these celestial things we can do. Telescopes are for celestial activities. Definitely it's going to work. So probably it should be. Second one, it is a stationary telescope, whereas a conventional telescope moves along the direction of the object of interest in the sky. This, unless we have studied this, we cannot answer. We don't know, but yes, it is correct. Normal telescopes, as an object is moving, the telescope has to be turned to see that object. But here, this one, it will be stationary in a place, but it will be rotating actually. In reality, it will be rotating, and using that rotation, it will capture the images. Okay, so answer is C. both 1 and 2. And something special is it is the only one such telescope in the entire world, not just in India, it's one in the world. And we say liquid is used here. Normally telescopes use mirror. Normally telescopes use mirror. Here they say we don't use mirror, instead we use liquid. What liquid could it be then? Mirror மாதிரி ஒரு liquid இருக்கணும், என்னவா இருக்கலாம்? Mercury. Yeah, mercury looks like mirror. It's going to be mercury. Yes, it is mercury. Okay, so நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிருக்கோம்? ரிவர்ஸ்ல போயிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஒரு காலத்துல மிரர்லாம் எதுல இருந்துச்சு? காப்பர் ஆர் மெர்க்குரி. இந்தியன்ஸ் were using mirrors using mercury or copper. Now we are going back actually, and this is much more efficient than a normal mirror telescope. Okay, and this one, something, it is why it is special. Normal mirror telescopes, conventional telescopes, they capture just a piece of sky, one part மட்டும் தான் capture பண்ணி. இது என்ன பண்ணுது? Rotate ஆகறனால 360 degree it captures everything. That is important about it. Okay, and moreover this can capture the celestial sky for the entire night. Something special here is this liquid mirror telescope, it can capture for the entire night. Normal telescopes, they capture only some part of the night. So another important point. Next question. Consider the following statements about direct to mobile broadcasting. Direct to mobile, இதே மாதிரி நம்மளுக்கு தெரிஞ்சது direct to home, DTH. இப்போ அதே மாதிரி என்ன சொல்றாங்க? direct to mobile. அப்ப what does DTH do? DTH எப்படி வேலை செய்யுது? Yeah, we just have an antenna, we receive information, that's all. Do we have internet connection for that? Do we use any cable? Nothing. Satellite is broadcasting, we just have a small antenna, I receive all the information. So what do they say here? My mobile can just take information from the satellite, I don't need internet connection, nothing, I can just take information. So this is the idea of direct to mobile. So we'll see the question now. An active internet connection is not needed. Definitely yes. It is based on the convergence of broadband and broadcast. Try to guess. Broadcast. What is broadcast? From one place I give information to everyone. So the information has to come from satellite. Similar how the DTH is working. Broadcast is definitely there. Broadband, it has to be, because they are sending lot of information. Internet they are going to send movies, they are going to send videos. What is broadband? Broadband என்னது? ஒரு ரோடு, அவ்வளவுதான். சின்ன ரோடா இருந்தா ஒரு கார் தான் போக முடியும், பெரிய ரோடா இருந்தா 4 லாரி போலாம். பிராட்பேண்ட் என்னது? இட்ஸ் லைக் a big road. In a road you send lorries, in band you send packets of data, that's all. What is broadband? You can send lot of packets data, that's all. Upper broadband, it has to be there. Answer is both 1 and 2. So why they are going to use it, and who does it? Department of Telecommunication. It's done by Department of Telecommunication. So இது எதுக்காக மோஸ்ட்லி பண்ண நினைக்கிறாங்க? To send information to the people at the time of emergency. இன்டர்நெட் கனெக்ஷன்லாம் கட் ஆயிருச்சு, ஃபோன் கனெக்ஷன்லாம் கட் ஆயிருச்சு. இப்போ சென்னையில் வெள்ளம் வந்தபோது அப்படித்தான் இருந்தது. ஸோ நோ ஃபோன் கனெக்ஷன், நோ இன்டர்நெட் கனெக்ஷன், such times. In those times, if the government has to send some information to the people, they can directly send it. At times of threat, இப்போ sometimes வந்து நெட் கனெக்ஷன் எல்லாம் கட் பண்ணி விட்டுருவாங்க தெரியுமா? ஃபோன் கனெக்ஷன், நெட் கனெக்ஷன்லாம். People have to know only certain things. Government has to announce, okay, come on, but there's no threat. People can come out, everything is fine. The government has to send it to the people, but internet cannot work. If internet works, people will start sending rumors. So they have to cut the internet, but the government has to communicate with the people alone to their mobile phone. In that situations, this is going to be useful. That is why they have created this. Okay. Yeah. Next one. 14. Consider the following statements with reference to Saint Tukaram. Cannot guess. We know, we answer. If we don't know, we cannot answer. That's all. Okay. He's a contemporary of Saint Jnaneshwar. No, actually. Okay, no. Saint Jnaneshwar and Saint Tukaram belong to Warkari sect. That is correct. That is correct. Yes, answer is 2 only. Okay, so it is called Warkari, or sometimes it is called Varkari also. It is a religious movement within the Bhakti movement. It is a small religious movement. And this region, which region could it be? Tukaram சொல்லிட்டோம், Maharashtra, definitely Maharashtra region. Okay, and they worship a god called Vithoba or Vittal. Vittal or Vithoba, they worship a god. Okay, and a group of saints under this Warkari sector, Jnaneshwar, but the period is 1275 to 1296, and Namdev 1270 to 1350. They both are contemporaries. And but Tukaram is 1608 to 1647, completely here 1600s. Okay, and one more person is Chokkamela, he is 14th century. So these are the 4 saints related to Warkari sect. Okay, and why it is in news? Because Saint Tukaram's temple is being inaugurated in Pune, and who did it? Prime Minister. So that is why it is in news. Okay, next one, Istanbul Convention, recently seen in news, is related to violence against women. We have to know this because conventions, there's no way we can guess it. It could be anything. We have to know. Yes, no other way. And whether India is a party to the, see, what and all other, we'll see this. It is against, it covers women and it covers girls. It covers domestic violence, rape, sexual assault, female genital mutilation, honor-based violence, forced marriage. Everything is covered under this violence against women. Now the question, another question is whether India is a party to it or not. No, எப்படி இருக்க முடியும்? நம்ம தான் honor killing பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோமே இன்னும். And still we don't understand how there is honor in killing and we call it honor killing, and still it is happening. There's no way India could be a member to this. Okay, so இத வச்சே சொல்லல இந்தியால மெம்பர் இருக்க வாய்ப்பே இல்ல. So we have to become a member and we have to stop all this. We'll see when it happens. Next question. Consider the following statements. Both the zonal council and the interstate council are chaired by the Prime Minister of India. இன்னைக்கு வந்த क्वेश्चन्ஸ்ல ஒரு ஈஸி क्वेश्चन தான். நோ, ஏன்னா கண்டிப்பா நம்மளுக்கு ஒன்னு பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர், இன்னொன்னு ஹோம் மினிஸ்டர்னு தெரியும். எதுன்னு தெரியாட்டியும் பரவாயில்ல, ஆனா வேறன்னு தெரியும். ஷுவர். So one is wrong. Both the zonal council and interstate council are constitutional bodies. Both. One is statutory. Yes. So answer is neither one nor two. So interstate council is a constitutional body under Article 263. Okay. So what is 262? Water dispute. இது நமக்கு தெரியும். இந்த க்ளூ தெரியும்ல? What is the clue? Yeah, இது ஆறுன்னு அர்த்தம். ஆறுனா ரிவர்னு அர்த்தம். You have 2 states. Between 2 states you have river dispute. It is 262. இது ஞாபகம் வச்சிட்டா disputes between states is 263. If you know this, you can remember this. Okay, yeah. So the next one, zonal council is a statutory body after 1976, and it is chaired by home minister. Okay, next question. This we can guess. We'll try and guess this. Okay, even if you don't know, we can guess it. RFID ரொம்ப famous எதுக்கு? Fast tag. Yes. With that we can guess this. RFID requires line of sight and must be oriented properly. Yes or no? No. அப்படி இருந்தா என்ன ஆகும்? அந்த டோல்ல வந்து கார் கொஞ்சம் பின்னாடி எடுங்க, அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி வாங்க, கொஞ்சம் லெஃப்ட் எடுங்க பார்ப்போம். அப்படி ஆயிரும் காரோட நிலைமையெல்லாம். எங்க பணம் கட்டுறது? It's not possible. So definitely orientation is not needed. They just capture it automatically. Next one we'll see. An RFID tag can communicate with a powered reader even when the tag is not powered. Yes, நம்ம கார்ல ஸ்டிக்கர் தான ஓட்றாங்க. Does that sticker need any power? No. So it's right. So answer is 2 only. And RFID uses radio waves, and that is why orientation is not needed. Infrared use பண்ணினா தான் orientation தேவைப்பட்டிருக்கும். They use radio waves. Okay, next one. Thor Adam, which is recently seen in news. Unless we don't know, we cannot answer this. But intelligent guess, no way. Appa wild guess, that is the only way. We'll try if something works. International Liquid Mirror Telescope, maybe. Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, maybe. Project to track space debris on real time. Astrodynamics platform to discover asteroids. So something related to space in தெரிஞ்சு போச்சு. ஏன்னா யார் இருக்கா? தார், அப்புறம் பிளாக் ஆடம், ரெண்டு பேருமே ஸ்பேஸ் ரிலேட்டட்னு தெரிஞ்சிருச்சு. ஆனா இது என்ன ஸ்பேஸ் ரிலேட்டட்னு பார்த்தா, so I guessed 2 answers. Okay, B and D. ஏன்னா தார் கீழே சுத்தி இருக்கு, அது மிசைல் மாதிரி இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி உனக்கு கெஸ் பண்ணி பார்த்தேன். நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் ஆஸ்ட்ரோடைனமிக்ஸ் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் டு டிஸ்கவர் ஆஸ்ட்ராய்ட்ஸ். எதனால? அந்த யூனிவர்ஸ்ல ஆஸ்ட்ராய்டு வெளியே தவிலாம் போவாங்களே, நம்ம அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துருக்கோம்ல. ஆக்சுவலி த ஆன்சர் இஸ் டி. ஸோ வாட் டஸ் தார் அண்ட் ஆடம் டூ? தே மூவ் ஃப்ரம் பிளானட் டு ஆஸ்ட்ராய்டு, தே மூவ் ஃப்ரம் யூனிவர்ஸ் டு யூனிவர்ஸ், இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு தானே இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் ஆஸ்ட்ரோடைனமிக்ஸ் டு டிஸ்கவர் ஆஸ்ட்ராய்ட்ஸ். திஸ் இஸ் நாட் த ஆன்சர். Just keep it in mind as a clue. If at all, if we are lucky and if we get this in the exam, after almost 1 year, we are not going to remember the data, but these clues and jokes you will remember. Okay, we'll see the next one, and we'll see the some details about it. And it is developed by University. Okay, யார் டெவலப் பண்ணிருப்பா? எந்த நாடா இருக்கும்? அமெரிக்கா. ஏன்னா தார்னா அவங்க ஒருத்தனை உருவாக்குனது, இதுவும் அவங்க உருவாக்குனதான். யூனிவர்சிட்டி ஆஃப் வாஷிங்டன். Okay, they have discovered this. And what does this TAR actually mean? Tracklet less heliocentric orbit recovery. This is called TAR. And the other one, asteroid discovery analysis and mapping. That is ADAM. These are the abbreviations. And the difference here is ADAM is open source. ADAM is open source. That is the difference. But this TAR is cloud based. So இப்போ என்னன்னா ஒன்று ஓப்பன் சோர்ஸ், ஒன் இஸ் கூகுள் கிளவுட் பேஸ்ட். தார் இஸ் கூகுள் கிளவுட் பேஸ்ட் அண்ட் ஆடம் இஸ் ஓப்பன் சோர்ஸ். திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் திங் தட் யூ ஹேவ் டு ரிமெம்பர். அண்ட் வாட் இஸ் சம்திங் ஸ்பெஷல் அபவுட் திஸ் தார் அண்ட் ஆடம் இஸ் they are trying to discover asteroids. And whether this is a telescope, no. What is this? கூகுள்னு சொல்லியாச்சு, அப்போ என்ன இருக்கலாம்? பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்னு சொல்லிட்டோம், ஓப்பன் சோர்ஸ்னா சொல்லிட்டோம், அப்போ என்ன இருக்கலாம்? நீங்களே கெஸ் பண்ணுங்க. It is just a computer program. It is an algorithm. So something special about this is they are not using this algorithm not just to find asteroids from new images or pictures. ஏதோ 20, 30, 50 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி எடுத்த இமேஜ் இருக்கும்ல, they are taking that image and they are running it with this algorithm. This high computational power is used to they are searching within the old images to find some asteroids. Computation power யூஸ் பண்ணி டெலஸ்கோப்போட பவர் இல்லாம கண்டுபிடிக்க ட்ரை பண்றாங்க. ஓகே, so it is just an algorithm. One is based on Google, another one is open source. Okay, so next one. Okay, one easy question வருது நமக்கு. Consider the following statements. Great one-horned rhino is the only rhino species which is found in India. Yes, only அது ஒன்று தான். Okay, Kaziranga National Park has the highest density of one-horned rhinos in the world. Highest number is Kaziranga. Yes, highest density Potipora. So answer is one only. Okay, and there are different species of rhino, we know that. So black rhino, it is critically endangered, it's found in Africa. Okay, and white rhino is near threatened. White rhino is near threatened, and we have this one horned rhino which is vulnerable actually. Okay, and Javan rhino is again critically endangered. Sumatran rhino also critically endangered. Almost everything is critically endangered except India la irukra one vulnerable. This you try to remember. Okay, and India is the largest species, that also we know. And something else, Potipora Wildlife Sanctuary, it is called as mini Kaziranga. This is another information. And as you told, Kaziranga has the highest number of rhinos. Potipora has highest density of rhinos. This is the difference. So in India, which states these one-horned rhinos are found? Assam, Bengal, Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Okay, next one, 20. Consider the following statements regarding flag code of India 2022. They have created a new flag code. See, in polity, we would have discussed somewhere about this, respecting the flag, whether it is the fundamental duty or not, whether it is it could be punished, whether it could be taken to court. In the later you would have seen that no, it is not given in the constitution. It was created only in 1971 under the flag code rules. Now they have amended that rule and created a new rule called as Flag Code of India rule for 2022. We have to see what are the differences or what they have amended. That's all we have to see. We'll see here. The tricolor flag could be hoisted only between sunrise and sunset. Yes, exactly. So this was true by the old 1971 rule. Now they have changed it. Now they say even through the night also the flag could be flying, no problem. Okay, it was brought into effect on Jan 26, 1950. Actually the question is mistyped, right? It's not properly typed, but maybe you could have understood. The old one எப்போ கொண்டு வந்தாங்கன்னு கேட்டிருக்காங்க. That's what they mean there actually. Both are wrong. Answer is D. Okay, It was brought into effect. Oh yeah, just now we said it was brought into effect in the year. Which year? எந்த இயர்னு சொன்னோம்? Flag code, flag respect பண்ணணும், flag 71 we said. 71, not in 1950. And something else what they have changed is now you can make flags using machine made flags are allowed. Polyester flags are also allowed. முன்னாடி வந்து கதர்ல தான் இருக்கணும் அப்படி சொல்லி சில rules. Now they have changed all that. Okay. Next question. That's it. Consider the following statement regarding Kabir Das. Okay, his verses are incorporated in Adi Granth. Almost everyone would have known this. Yes, one is sure, right? He advocated the Vedantic concept of Atman. Yes, that is also correct. Atman, நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சு ஆத்மன் யாரு? சிம்பு. இப்ப அவர் தான் புது ஆத்மன். ஓகே, ஸோ இனிமேல் எப்பெல்லாம் சிம்புவை பார்க்குறீங்களோ அப்பெல்லாம் கபீர் தாஸ் உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் வரணும். அப்போ இனிமேல் இப்போ மறக்காது நம்மளுக்கு. ஓகே, yeah, next one. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was a devotee of Kabir. Yes, this information was new to me also. Yes, it is correct. Okay, because Kabir, he advocated nirguna way of devotion. What is nirguna and what is the other one? No form. Within Hinduism there are two forms of worship. One is nirguna, that is in the just அமைதியா meditation பண்றது, தனக்கு தானே சாமி கொண்டு. They don't worship idol mostly. சிலையை வச்சு படம் வச்சு if they worship, then it is called sarguna. Okay, so these are two. Kabir advocated nirguna. Okay, we'll finish it soon. Okay, yeah. 22. This also we discussed in catalyst class. 22. Recently the derivative segment on the National Stock Exchange witnessed a freak trade in the weekly Nifty 50 options contract. Which of the following statements are correct regarding fat finger trade? Okay, first one. It is a planned transaction of high value that can even change the prices of the shares instantaneously. One word is wrong here. Planned is wrong. Fat finger meaning என்னன்னா, இத வேற நல்லா இருக்கும், நல்லா டைப் பண்ணிருப்பேன், திடீர்னு வேற வீங்கிருச்சுனா என்ன தெரியுமா ஆயிரும்? ஜி டைப் பண்ண போற இடத்துல மாத்தி ஹெச் டைப் பண்ணிருவோம்ல, சேஞ்ச் ஆயிரும். தட் இஸ் ஃபேட் ஃபிங்கர் ட்ரேட். பை ஹியூமன் எரர்னால ஏதோ ஒரு பட்டனை மாத்தி அமுத்துறதோ மவுஸை மாத்தி கிளிக் பண்ணிடுறதோ, பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ் தேர் இஸ் a huge loss in the share market. This is called fat finger trade. Okay, it can cause a huge loss to the initiator and windfall gain to others. Definitely. இப்போ ஒரு வேல்யூ நான் மாற்றி விட்டுறேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், someone might face a loss because of that and someone might get a huge profit because of that. It is an error actually. So 2 only is the answer. So what are the ways to overcome this? So some stock exchanges, what they do, in the software they create system filters. If such something abnormal is detected, it will immediately stop the trade. So they use software filters. Another one, the parties involved, they settle it. இப்போ நான் உங்களுக்கு பணம் பண்ணணும்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், ஒரு நம்பரை மாற்றி போட்டு இவங்களுக்கு பணம் வச்சுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், இப்போ பேசி இப்போ ப்ளீஸ் கொடுத்துறியா, அது சொன்னா கேளு, வீட்டில் அடிப்பாங்க என்னைய, ப்ளீஸ் கொடுத்துறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அவங்களுக்குள்ள பேசி ஒரு சமாதானத்துக்கு வந்துக்கலாம். ஸோ தே குட் கெட் within the parties, they could talk and say this is just an error, you did not actually get the gain, please give it to him அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பேசி முடிச்சுக்கலாம். These are the 2 ways to overcome fat finger trade. Okay, next one, 23. Consider the following statements about a wetland. The Nalbana Island is located in this wetland. It receives fresh water from the tributaries of river Daya. It has a fishing cat population outside the protected area network. With the third point, you can answer it. Third point, it is very recently in news. Fishing cat. Where do you find this fishing cat? Chilka Lake. So Chilka Lake is the answer. So these two are new. Nalbana Island is within this Chilka Lake, and you receive water to this Chilka Lake from Mahanadi and tributaries of Mahanadi, and one such important river is River Daya. Okay. And one more information, and of course we know it is the Asia's largest lagoon. We know that. Another information is it is India's oldest Ramsar site. And the fishing cat is the ambassador for Chilka Lake. This you have to know. And some important species found here are fishing cat, smooth-coated otters, and Eurasian otters. Otters are important here. See here, another one, this fishing cat. It is the only species in India that is found in wetland, only cat species. It is the only wild cat species which is found in a wetland in India. Okay. And the first estimation of fishing cat, first census of fishing cat in the entire world is done here in this Chilka Lake for the first time, and this happened very recently here. That is why this whole thing is in news. Okay. It is vulnerable. IUCN status vulnerable. It is found only on wetlands. And Nalbana is a wildlife sanctuary since 1987. It is found at the center of Chilka Lake. It's an island. Okay. So we'll go to the next question. 24. With reference to ribbonweed, the world's largest plant discovered recently, consider the following statements. It is a seagrass located in the Indian Ocean. Yes, Indian Ocean, nearby to Australia. It was discovered. It is the world's largest plant found until today. You know when it started growing? Harappan period. 4,500 years ago, it started to grow. Still, it is growing. இன்னும் உயிரோடு இருக்கு. ஆமா, இட்ஸ் இன்னும் இதுக்கப்புறம் செத்துரும். மனுஷன் கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டான்ல, முடிச்சிருவோம். இதுக்கப்புறம் இருக்காது. Yeah. That plant is a seagrass. இது வரைக்கும் நான் அப்படித்தான் நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தேன். இப்ப இருந்து உங்களை பார்த்தா புது டவுட் கிரியேட் ஆகுது எனக்கு. ஒருவேளை நான் தான் தப்பா நினைச்சிட்டேன்னு சொல்லி எதுக்கும் செக் பண்றப்பா. ஓகே. Its largest extent is due to seed dispersal. Actually, it is opposite. It does not exhibit seed dispersal at all. If there was seed dispersal, when climate changed, அப்ப என்ன இருந்திருக்கும்? அந்த சீட் அந்த இடத்துல வளர முடியாம போயிருந்திருக்கும். It would have stopped. But it does not use seed dispersal. That is why it is still surviving. Okay. It is spreading using rhizomes. It doesn't use seed dispersal, but it is spreading using rhizomes. Okay. And it is this plant is a polyploid. What is polyploid? Multiple chromosomes. Normally what plants do is it takes half chromosomes from one parent, another half chromosome from another parent. நம்ம pollination நடக்கும்போது. But this one what it does, it takes 100% from one parent and 100% from another parent. So that is why it has the highest number of chromosomes found in any plant, because plants normally do not exhibit this way of character. 100% from father and 100% from mother. Plants don't do this, but this plant is doing it. Okay. And next one, recently the islands such as Crete. Answer is one only. Recently the islands such as Crete, Cyclades and Sporades are militarized against the Lausanne Convention of 1923. These specific islands are found in, where could it be? Okay, it's actually agency. Okay, the dispute is between Turkey and Greece. Actually, Turkey ceded these islands to Greece some time before, and it was with this convention saying that we will give the islands, but you should not militarize these islands. But now they are militarizing it, so Turkey is complaining. Okay, we somehow finished it. Sorry to make you sit for such long time. Thank you. Bye bye. Yeah, thank you. And we thought of asking review, but we were not able to. We had no time. You just put it in Google review. Did this approach did it really help you? Okay. Or if you have any suggestions also, you can just type it there. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.